All right, I think it is live. We are on. Good day to everyone. Hope everyone's doing well this Friday, whatever time it is for you. We got again Shangael and Marc here.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
we out here going to do another talk on the same shit on the anti-cosmic voidism. Shangael has been going in on this mentality, and for what I want to say initially, it's important to understand the mental aspects of these things. Um, I mentioned from my last video, what you call, etymology and God talk. You know what I mean? And it's very important not to get bogged down into a certain valency. You want to go as high as you can go within your mental scope at the very least. And so my boy Shangal has really helped me in understanding that fact, not just getting caught up in, say, whether you want to say a term of antinatalism, even ephilism in a sense, but understanding how far back you can go. And it goes up to the fact of possibility. So I just really appreciate him with bringing the mentality of, at the very least, the mind. And so just knowing the higher scopes of things and the different solutions for what that can bring, it's been very important to dispel to everyone here. So that's what this talk is going to be about. We're going to just continue leveling up, and we're I feel like we should start from like the bottom and then just kind of scale up. Following that, I think it was the part 3 that you had on your channel last. Is that correct, Shingo? You mute right now. You guys hear me?
Shangael?
Oh, I can hear. My mic was muted.
You good? Go ahead.
I was talking the whole time. My mic is muted. I was the list right here for you. If I line it up with the StreamYard fucking camera, the shit is like so backwards. You go left, it goes right. So we could take a look at all that, in whatever order folks want to do it in. Of course, start at the top. Damn, goddamn, lining this shit up is crazy. It's simple motion. You could share it on your screen at all from or can I just screen share like that? No, I can't do that. But
I'm gonna post it in the chat too.
All right, cool. That way, so folks could see it. I mean, if the last of the anti-Voidism stream, I figured we might as well just go over them because I wanted to do a that was just about the solutions. But then I figured, do it with y'all. Because I feel like with all the people who say, there's nothing we can do, I feel like a lot of them haven't thought about it. I feel like a lot of people who agree with them think about it. They just kind of agree. It sounds good to them. Sounds normal. But we do got to have some people in this talking about what will be done from the top down. All possibilities that might take eons to accomplish versus what we can accomplish today, etc. right here as humans. Is there anything y'all wanted to say on that?
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably just look at this stuff and maybe they just don't get it, or maybe they don't want to get it, you know? Like, because I always think that's a possibility. Like, I wonder how many people actually listen to this stuff and just do it for entertainment versus like actually trying to figure out what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's always a consideration. Like, there are going to be people who listen, but, it's like vague and weird to them. So they just listen for entertainment versus the people that actually want to listen to it and find out what can we really do, what can we really accomplish. So it's yeah, it's like 50-50 there.
Anything from you, Alyssa, before we get to that first one?
Yeah. I was trying to post that in the chat. I think it broke it up in multiple comments. I'm not sure how it might look on your guys' end. For the the post that
Okay.
yeah, how does that look on your end? Can you guys see it?
Um,
It looks kind of crazy how I'm seeing it. I'm sorry. I might
yeah,
have to.
it's
Are you
if
in
you
the
can view it as
comments?
one post, it's good.
Am I in
Because
the
if all
comments? Yeah, from the post that Shanghai was wanting everybody to know about for the different scales, the different valencies, when it comes
Okay.
to yeah. So I was trying to post that in the chat so that everybody, because he was trying to show it on his camera, but with the network and everything, the quality. So I figured I would just put it in the chat. I'm just gonna put the 1 through 12 because that's the
Okay.
basis. You know what I mean? And we're gonna go through each one, and I feel like we should go from 12 down to 1, given that you know you want to start from the
right,
most base from what we are right now to where it really resides, where it comes from, where it kind of originated from, with the kind of cosmic spectrum of things. um but yeah, with complete nihilism, because this type of talk, a lot of people get very in that nihilistic sense of nothing really matters, and from there nothing matters, so who gives a fuck, why are we even talking, right? Like, why are we doing anything, type of thing. And that, if that's you, as my boy Shangael put it on it, and again, I'm sorry if it may look a little crazy, but you'll see the different numerical sequence. We're starting from 12, and then we're working our way, you can say up or down, whatever way, but it's 12, 11. We're going to kind of go that way from how I see it, because that's, the most base thing. You're not doing anything with that nihilism type of mentality. You know what I mean? Do literally nothing at all, as my boy Shanghai puts there in parentheses for number 12. And we all have a certain, again, valency with that. There are certain things in my life that I know, like, because there's a truth in nihilism. We know, like, it's observational reality, because everything is dust and temporary. We know ultimately, yes, nothing does matter ultimately. But with us being here currently, we do know, like, everything in communication. That's why I had that certain talk from before. It has a duality. You say nothing matters, then at the same time, you got to pay your rent. You know what I'm saying? You got to eat. You got to do all these different things. And
All
so you want
right.
to do something a bit more higher. Ultimately, you should feel compelled to do that. You know what I mean? Because you're already doing something, again, within a certain valency. So that matters. So we just trying to bring a little bit more. And if we can all do it within a certain similar accord, then again, there's just so much more than, so that complete nihilism, every single level is going to have a truth with it, for the different scales that we're going to go through. But for that complete nihilism, again, just doing nothing at all. Again, we have all a certain valency, relativity with it. Um, Again, I can talk about my own shit, my own life, about how there's certain things in my life that, again, it's just a fucking mentality that who gives a fuck, and it kind of just goes real good into the next one with do what you will, do what you shall want to do type of shit for number 11. Do what thou will, because that's the truth, nothing does technically matter. So given that's the case, and we're all doing whatever we want to do, that's what you should then feel compelled to do, because that's what we're all, even if you're not doing nothing, it's still technically something, because you're something currently in this physical sense. You know what I mean? So this is all a, like, inevitability for this 12 to 11, with doing what you will. But you should feel compelled to kind of do something a bit higher than your cardinal sense. You know what I mean? This is why I'm doing these streams with my boys right here, with Shangael and Marc. You know what I mean? Because again, every single thing we're going to talk about with these different scales has a truth in it. But there can be something, again, higher than where you might stay. Because again, we're not even at number 9 yet, with antinatalism. But again, you just want to, you should feel like you want to do more than that. You know what I mean? The very fact that I made these videos, Marc and myself, Shangael, but specifically when we get to that number 9 with antinatalism, like, that's a certain, like, bottleneck. You know what I mean? So you kind of still feel compelled to, like, seek other things. So we're just kind of bringing that different scales and everything, and making it very clear for everybody that wants to build with us tonight. Um, so yeah, that's why I got to say for number 12, it gets really connected. Like 12 and 11 goes boom, boom. I feel like, you know what I mean? Because again, complete nihilism, people, it's funny how, with this type of talk, again, people want to make it seem like we're different from other people, and we are. But like, you get my point. Like, everyone has a nihilistic sense. Ultimately, there's certain things in life where it's like, okay, yeah, this doesn't technically matter. Fuck it. Everyone has those different moments in their own different relativity circumstances in their own shit. We're just talking about it not just within our own personal life. We're talking about it, uh, as high as we can within that type of concept of nihilism. And again, because of that, from there, it's like, okay, even if nothing matters, what still are you doing? So do what thou wilt. So it just kind of flows into the next point, and that's what we're doing right now. This is you should feel compelled to do something, and even if it's technically, when it comes to the whole promortalism and everything, that's still something leading to nothing. So we'll get to that point too. But yeah, that's what I got to say for 12 and getting on to 11.
Marcus, you want to take
Anarcho,
that?
Anarcho.
I've done 3 and 12-hour, videos on this shit. So I want to hear really what y'all have to say, even more than myself.
Yeah, guys, I'm reading through the list here. He started at 12, and I'm reading through 11, and I'm kind of anarcho communism. I don't even really know where to go with that one. Anarcho communism. That one is
You want me to explain it first?
I mean, I kind of get the gist, but go ahead and explain that one in case I might not have it right, because I think it's like anarchy, but communistic somehow. So I'm not really sure how that would work.
So anarcho communism is the ultimate form of utopia, which is, in my opinion, impossible for humanity to ever achieve. But you know how? So when I made the list, because we're going from to the top right now.
Okay.
I made the list. I made it from the bottom, which is, so anarcho communism would come after Antinatalism, basically saying, if you can limit the amount of children born, if you can get everyone free, wonderful. Force it on them, wonderful. If you can't force it on them and you can get everyone to agree, wonderful. If you can't get everybody, depending on what percentage of people you agree to it, the higher the better. But let's say anti is wholly ineffective because we can only get 1 to 5% of people that fucking agree to it, right? So the next stage would be, well, it's going to be here and children are going to be born and humans are going to exist, should be aiming for the best possible we could have as humans, which would then be anarcho-communism, because anarcho-communism is literally just humanity, one giant family. It is anarchy, need for governments. We have natural government systems with families, structures, like when families come together, they start making lines, all this stuff, right? But if the whole world, if every human on actually looked every other human, their blood relation, every kid is your kid is your niece, your nephew, everybody cousin, your auntie, your aunt. Well, how black, what up, brother? What up, sis? Auntie? What up? So like, those aren't your physical family members. Because they're a certain sex, certain age, you instantly automatically go auntie. That's unc. That's, what I'm saying? Hey, like, hey niece, hey daughter, hey nephew. Like, you don't even know this motherfucker, but you see him in the streets doing something. You might be like, hey nephew, stop that shit, bro. Like, what's wrong with you? Alone, like, if the whole world saw humanity as their family, and all these nations and tribal and governments and structures and bullshit politics, all the shit they use to separate us, that would be basically the ultimate utopia that humanity could achieve, or really any. So really, it came down, because that's Voidism, which just end and maintain it that way until you get down to the point where we're right here on Earth, and you get into the anti-nature. And if that's not the way we want it to work, then you get into the anarcho-communism. Well, if we can't get rid of all the humans, we might as well try to have the best human, lives we possibly can, as not as individuals, new age, live life bullshit. Not care about the fucking kid digging out. You know what I'm saying? What was that you talked about, Marcus? We got to care about the kid portrait in the basement. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to figure it out. And so that's anarcho-communism. It's all of humanity acting as one giant family. So on that note, Marc, anything to say? Let's start.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, your connection, I don't know what it is, but it's like you are bugging in and out constantly. So I could barely really make out what you were saying. I'm not
Yeah,
sure if it's just your connection or if it's mine.
let
Alyssa,
me
can
try.
you hear him?
Yeah, it's the
Is it?
same thing. It's the same thing. I don't know what them feds been doing to my boy Shangael. You know, this shit's been getting too hot. They're like, yo, we gotta stop this shit. I
Yeah,
don't know
it's
what it is.
definitely.
Yeah, I don't know what it is
Y'all
because
hear
it's
it
been a thing
all?
recently on his shit. I don't know what the fuck they've been doing to him.
Yeah,
Because
it
this shit
just
used to
started
be
recently.
Can
right,
y'all hear?
right. We hear you right now. Oh, that's better. Can you keep going, keep going.
So can you hear everyone saying at this exact moment right now? Is it clear? Is it going through?
Still kind of splotchy, man. Not gonna lie to you.
Shit, I might let y'all take this one, because these motherfuckers are not trying to let me speak.
Yeah, that's good. That's all right. But yeah, I mean, I used to be you guys. I mentioned it time and time before. I used to be in this political shit, and yeah, like my boy Shangal mentioned with anarcho communism. Again, and a lot of this is just concepts and mentality. We know with that, just like with the concept before we get to the next one, number 9, with antinatalism, with anarcho communism, just the concept already alone of communism. We know people say, oh, it can be good on paper, but the actual practicality, the feasibility of it, that's another story. And you should be able to understand that in a clear way because clearly it's not here right now. But yeah, like for the concept of it, it's like a stateless, cashless, moneyless, no hierarchy type shit. Or rather, there is, in a sense, still some form of a, well, no, they don't fuck with any private property type shit.
Mm,
um yeah, it's obviously, any political shit already, we already know. But again, the concept, if you were to do it, yeah, why would you want to have to deal with any type of money shit to begin with? You know what I mean?
right,
so
right,
so people in that political realm, again, they're trying to think of a higher level of things, but they're not kind of going all the way. But if you were to stay there and you're wanting some type of utopia in this, humanity game, yeah, when I was really in this, like this is back in my college days, and yeah, I always fell back to that anarcho communism shit, because communism, it kind of talks about, again, like there's like an equity. There is, like, fairness all around. There should, again, be no hierarchy in a clear sense. Like private property has always been the thing. We know with capitalism, that's the way the exploitation goes. Some landlord type shit, absentee landlord, and people just, again, raking shit off of the backs of other people. So we know as a concept that's fucked up. That's literally vampiric. And so anarcho
right.
communism with the anarchy part, it's like anarchy is like no, it's like no order in a sense, but like there's still going to be order inevitably with humanity. But it's just the conventional way of order is taking that shit out the way, because it's, as we see how it's been going around and playing out, it's not compatible for humanity as a whole. So like my boy
Right.
Shanghai was mentioning, I feel like it's similar to what Untold Misery was saying here with tribalism. Because with Shanghai, with how he was explaining it, he was saying it like, because we always say, we're all one. And with the anarcho-communism is getting into that communal, community, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
so it's really trying to signify that we're all, we're with one another with what we're doing here in this society shit. And so it's not trying to prioritize one person over the other. um but again, it's like, we know at a certain level, humans, they're selfish, it's at the force. So we know, again, the practicality of it, and trying to do something to set forth, it's very limited. It's very limited. Already trying to just do a certain level of like republicanism or like libertarianism, or already with that.
Yes.
So so it's
It's
just
been
the
a complete
mentality
failure
of
so
it.
far.
What was that?
It's been a complete failure so far with those systems. I mean, especially because right now, the capitalist system pretty much dominates all of that. And under that kind of thing, there's constantly the structures of authority, the structures of uh, perceived authority, rather, because it's really not authority. Like, their authority is pretty much um, another level of play pretend. Essentially, like, there's no real backing behind it. It's just a bunch of people that said we have the power, and all the other people just casually agree with them, like, oh yeah, you do have the power. No, they really don't. It's like they're
Mhm.
playing pretend. They're not lords. They can't be lords over you, but because of collective approval, they feel that they are. So that kind of goes hand in hand with that. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me that anybody would think that capitalism would work in any sense of a utopian form. So that would definitely have to be off the table, because
Right, because it comes back to
capitalism
the
by
fact
itself
that, and I'm
is.
sorry to cut you off, but see,
Go ahead.
we got to understand these are just concepts. We're like
Yeah.
before we get into like let's actually do some shit. Right now, we're literally just thinking. And so, with the concept of anarcho communism, like you mentioned with capitalism, who would want to have to work for somebody, and then they're reaping your shit. You're getting
Right.
a portion of your labor. Like that fundamentally doesn't make sense. And so the issue is we're brought up in a certain societal political framework, and that's what we're brought up in right now, right? Some form of a capitalistic, whatever type of crony, whatever techno, we know it's technically at bottom capitalism, right? And so
Right.
we're ingrained, we're social engineered to be. People say, oh, it's nature, the fact that this is the current structure, this is the current economic model. But the problem is you're born into it, you're programmed into it. Had it been another quantum reality that you were in some anarcho-communist shit, you'll be saying that that was the nature type shit. You're just
Right.
used to
Right.
whatever you're used to. You know what I mean? And so if you're just thinking, you're not, forget what the current, just think. Unless you're a fucking vampire, you know what I mean? You wouldn't want to put that on somebody where they have to, you just look at the fucking world. Look what the people, late stage capitalism type shit. Like, no one wants this shit. No one wants this shit. And so
Right.
anarcho communism is getting, again, it's a bit more, again, it's a bit more family approach, communal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone owes a means of production, not just this private fucking property absentee fucking person that's really not doing any of the labor type shit. They're just, again, reaping off of the fucking labor that you're doing. As a concept, that doesn't make sense, let alone
It
this
doesn't.
concept of a money and cash. That's what I was saying before in my other video, with like the words, and shit. Like who put that, you now have this power over everyone. You know what I mean? So it just gets back to like the source of things. And so every single thing that we're talking about, there's going to be a source of things. And so anarcho-communism is getting, okay, well, what's the source of this concept of a state? Who ordained anybody to govern and be on
Right.
top of other people? As a
Right.
concept, we're all the same. We bleed the same, we shit the same, blah, blah, blah. So who are you
Right.
to say that, you're better than me and now we got to fucking have it that you get 10 times more money or whatever? It's all fucked up. And so it's just kind of
Dude.
probing into that. And anarcho-communism, I know niggas, they'll probably be like, oh, this is a better system. Just understand the concept. Like this is a great general term to just hit at that fact that, again, we're trying to be more balanced and fair. And we know right now that's not the case. And yeah, again, when I was really in that political shit, I did hone in onto this term, anarcho-communism. So when I heard my boy Shangael mention that, I was like, yeah, man, because all this shit is a similar wavelength of things. Like I said, I know some certain other people, they may have a other specific term, but you get the sentiment, you get the spirit behind this type of political system. We know the feasibility, the practicality of it, obviously. Just like how niggas say with antinatalism. People say, oh, you're gonna try to have everybody not have kids. Just understand the concept. That's all we're saying. Can we start there? Let's not get into this whole, oh, we have to do this now. Do you at least understand the concept? And if you do, you understand how that's better than what the fuck we're currently dealing with. And so that's what this anarcho, it's like on this level, this is what you should do. But obviously, like we can look to do more, right? And then that's where
Mhm.
we're gonna continue to go.
Right. Right. And the thing about that, like you said, just going back to what Shangael said in one of our earlier talks, people don't really ask the question why enough. Like they don't say why enough nearly as much as they should. Like, why do you have government? Why do you have politicians? Why do you have rulers? Who made these people rulers and who decided that they were the ones fit to do it? Like, who, there was no agreement with this shit. It was just you were born and you were placed into it, and they said, oh, we're your rulers. Why the fuck are you? Did I say that's okay with me? I don't want to be under you ruling me. Like, so again, it's all these notions, these concepts that are just already here and programmed into the masses, and it seems like most people are kind of content with it. And I think that's really the most root problem that we have is contentment. Everybody is content with how things are, so much so that when you talk about bringing a new type of shift, they don't want to hear it because it's new, it's dangerous, and it's uncharted territory. So they kind of like shut it down, like almost immediately. As soon as you bring up the idea of anarchy at any type of level, oh no, we can't have that because daddy government. We need the police. Who's going to help us? We need the police. They need to tell us what to do. It's like, come on, fuck. Like, do you have to be a slave your entire life and love it? Do you really have to do that? Can you try? It's like, like, come on now. We have to have a better way. And it's like people don't want that. They just want the same old shit. And then they get mad at me for laughing at them for protesting. Like, hey, look, I understand what you're trying to do, but can I just at least tell you that for 50 fucking years they've been protesting and nothing has come of it? I mean, you're just wasting your time at that point because they can look at you protest all day long and they're not going to give a fuck. They're going to be like, oh, look at these fucking slaves out here holding signs. What is that going to do? Intimidate them somehow? It's like we have the same social issues from 50 years ago and nothing has changed, literally. So you can protest all you want, they just don't give a fuck. So what's the next solution? Because clearly peaceful protest and waving signs is not doing anything to them but making them laugh.
Right. I mean, we can talk about, because this number 10, is just talking politics, the state.
Right.
And we always say, again, if you're listening to this, you're in some type of jurisdiction, you're in some type of government, you've used money, so it's all affecting us. This number 10, it's funny too. I like the numerology of number 10 because me in astrology, this goes into that authoritative Capricorn, Saturnian, black Q with that number 10 with the numerology with the Shangael, whether you may have known it or not, that shit's hard for you to put that as number 10 because that goes into again that structure of a state authoritative, order of things, conventionality, tradition, with just again the concept of a state government, govern the mind is the breakdown is. And so like you mentioned, Mark, it's like, well, what can we do? That's why, again, for anyone that's one of my day ones, I had a video on like antinatalism and politics, because that's what it is. It's a bunch of tricks, it's a bunch of Ponzi schemes that they're playing on the humanity. And at bottom, it's like, what can we do? And this is where it gets back to the nothingness type shit. Because if you kind of know, like, okay, you don't technically have to do nothing, right? You don't, and so obviously you don't put somebody in this bullshit. Like that's if that comes to you and you have that heart, right? Because that's why this number 10 is very important. We're gonna keep going, but this number 10, because people stay here, people stay on. We know this. That's why people vote every 4 years. Niggas are like, they're still doing this shit. Yeah, because they feel like they're they don't have a choice. But we
Right.
do, at least with, again, that's why we're gonna get to the number 9, and that's why I made my whole fucking video. Once I knew of this, that's why we had the one prior other talk with antinatalism. Like, once you really know this concept, I can't again, for those specific people that have that heart, right? They're not just into politics or whatever for their own, with the republicanisms in a certain convention, right? Less taxes that they want to do. So it's really just them, they want to do these things for their own selves. It's not like they're really looking out for other people. They want the government off their ass. You know what I mean? They don't really give a fuck about anything else. But for people that really have a compassion, empathy for other people, you know what I mean? For people that are in that, if they know the next one that we're going to get to with antinatalism, you don't go back. You don't then get into, you can still try to do whatever, but it's even more of a futility thing because you're doing something else, even though you're technically not doing something with not putting something in.
Right.
But that's even stronger because the power of nothing, the power of doing nothing and containing that energy, it's so they want you, just like how people say, when you pray to the gods want to hear your prayers. When you're, externalizing things, it's that's the issue a lot of times, because people want to maintain the world. That's the fucking issue.
Yes. That's the
But
the
yeah,
highest issue.
yeah, that's the highest issue. But yeah, this goes straight into number 9 with antinatalism, because obviously with all this bullshit, again, we could go on number 10 the whole entire talk if we want to. Just fucking go on Google, every single news story. It's all fucking shitty. You know what I mean? But obviously at bottom, we know what this whole state concept of things. It should let you know this is fucked up. The very fact that with the state, you're dependent. This whole origination of this reality. Your dependent origination. You need now a fucking president. You now need to talk to fucking Donald Trump or whoever type of fucking state legislator, fucking senate or whatever. Like, that's sorry. You know how we talking about with melanin and melancholy? Like, that is a sorry ass existence that now you have to depend on these motherfuckers that don't give a fuck about you. We know this with these representatives. They don't give a fuck about you. So what? And so if we know this, what can we do? And that's like, okay, technically, in a sense, you don't do something, right? You don't put somebody in this bullshit that you're in. And so that gets to the next part with anti. So when that came to me, I was like, damn, like, this is obvious as shit. Like, okay, I don't have to do anything. You know what I mean? Like, and that's powerful. And if I tell somebody that, talk about when, you know, you were saying before, like activism, protesting, marching, that's that. You know what I mean? Like your life is a fucking march. You know what I mean? Anyone that can vibe with it and hear what the fuck you're talking about, again, for those true spirits or whatever, not for people that really understand what you, once they know what you're talking about, if you can tell them that, like they you don't go back. I'm sorry. I've changed certain minds.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see. That's why I mean, like, this, it's only going to get worse this year. We know this. We know this. It's only going to get worse this year. And I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Because it's
pressure
like,
cooker.
This is where we need to talk. I try to tell people this is where we need to let, and a lot of people already know but we got to continue to just do shit. We got to just continue to do. What else are we doing? Like,
right.
I swear to God, like if it's not just fucking work is already like a third of your day, right? You're doing something that you don't want to do. Even if you're not working, what else are you really? So like you should feel compelled to do something more than just your own self. There's people that are just selfish or whatever. Cool. We all have a certain level of selfishness. Cool. But like for people like us that are in these talks, philosophizing concepts, mind over matter, you know what I mean? Because of that, if you're thinking about that, you should know, like, you should try to help your other man. You know what I mean? You would want to do that. That's God energy. You know what I mean? Serve, create, but technically uncreate. Like, fuck this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there
that's
you go.
That's the true gnosis. But it's like, it's just, again, what? And so that's when I came again, 2017. You guys, anyone listening to this, I'm sure you guys listened to that talk with Marc and what was his name? Antinatalist informant, DNA and Against Life, Antinatalist Witch. It's important, especially with the Black people, man. Black people, man, let me tell you, when it comes to this, with they use our energy. They use our energy, and the more that us specifically, there's I'm just talking about alchemical, okay? When Black people are talking about this shit, we're on the bottom of the totem pole. And so again, alchemically speaking, when you start with that Negrito, okay, it's only gonna further intent. When niggas be talking on some shit, oh my God, everybody else is like, yo, like, this is kind of hip, you know? And so that's why so I'm just so thankful to be with you guys and everyone else, like my boy Shangael, and we've talked about it with the other talk. Like, there's a lot of niggas talking this shit, like, and we just gotta continue to let out that fire. And it's gonna continue to, because we already know we're on the winning side, but like we kind of want to see more of the wins, you know? Like, while we're here, we want to see more of the gains, or, you know, more of the lack of shit happening for the betterment of this humanity. Because the technical betterment of this is the ending of it, right?
Yes,
so yeah,
absolutely.
antinatalism is the number 9, you know, knowing like you don't have to, you know, do anything. Like my boy Shangael mentioned, try to like get yourself out of the system however way, you know, if you can, you know, not pay taxes, whatever way that you can, you know, take yourself out, you know. And so it gets to that, of course, not putting somebody to have to take themselves out, and so, you know, not putting somebody here. So but yeah, for us here, again, whatever way that you can, just don't fucking try to give in, and try to, you know, be very dependent on yourself, and not, you know, dependent on these motherfuckers.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Is it clear?
What was that?
He said, oh man. So,
keep going. It's okay.
Yeah,
it's
keep
okay.
going,
Let's
man.
just
Keep going.
I mean, if it's good enough to hear me, but if it's not, you know, y'all are doing y'all thing. Y'all are fine. So, but I just remind the chat that, because as we're talking about anarcho communism, people are like, but that's not the answer. We should just, you know, get rid of this. I'm like, remember, we're going from the bottom up. We we know this. As Illicit Mind said, we're not talking necessarily about the practicality of everything in it. We're just talking about the levels of salute. What is the answer on each level? Number 10 is beneath number 9. That's how the list is listed, right? Number 1 is voidism, nothingness. That's step 1. Works. We don't need number 2, number 3, 4. You get us. Every way on the every down is the next answer, because the one above it too far off and we want to speed it up, or it's ineffective, you know? So again, antinatalism comes before communism. If we're going to be having children on this planet, if we cannot force capitalism on the world, nor convince enough of them to stop having babies to the point where humanity just starts to dwindle all on it, and we're gonna be here increasing these damn numbers anyway, then we go into the Anarcho Communism, because it's the best possible option for the species. Is it practical? Would it really happen? Do we think it's actually going to occur? Fuck no. Most solutions aren't actually going to occur. Type of human, or because they're humans, nature, cosmos, laws of physics. This works. We know how entropy is. That's why we're entropy. But to establish that all these problems do have answers, if we were actually willing to buckle down and attempt to accomplish those solutions. The problem, the solutions, humanity. Like, so let's keep in mind when we're talking about this, we're starting at the bottom up, just to show you where we literally are and we can get to. But remember, at number 1, that's the answer to everything beneath it. So
Yeah.
I just want to find the chat of that. Sounding decent? Am I sounding terrible? Is it going in?
It's still splotchy, dude. I don't know what happened between last week and now, but they really fucked your connection up, man.
They
but
hate.
we pretty much we're trying to make out as much as you're saying. So keep at it. Fight the motherfuckers anyway. Keep talking.
Yeah, fuck them, fuck them, fuck them. If I say 6 times, maybe it'll get through. How much of I'll get?
We got enough. We
got enough
everyone's
of it,
listening
pretty
to this.
much.
They're like, man, I really want everything. Yeah, we're really like, we got the gist. Like you mentioned,
Yeah.
we're working our way up. It's going from 12 bottom, then working our way up. Number 1 is as high of a valency as we can go. And before I even Marc, was there anything else you wanted to mention before we continue the number 9 onwards for Anarcho Communism?
I think we pretty much handled that one. Go ahead to the next one.
Okay, because this next one, obviously, this is where, like I mentioned before, we're number 10. This one, and I'm talking to myself whenever I'm literally just talking to myself. I don't know you niggas, other niggas so like antinatalism, because again, like I'm an Aries, like what can we do? And then it's like, man, like these language and everything, the duality, technically you don't do shit. And so antinatalism, not putting a motherfucker, like that's, again, monumental shit. And so we stay there. I stay there in a clear level, in a sense, because it's like, that's something within my humanity that I can control, not promoting humanity in that clear lineage sense. You know what I mean? And so like, out of like everything that we're going to be talking about, obviously that number 9 is funny. Any one of you that went into that one video that I posted a little bit on my astrological shit, I have a lot of placements on that 9th house. It deals with a lot of philosophy. Antinatalism is a lot of concepts, philosophy. You know what I mean? And society based too. Just metaphysical, inner truth. It's deep as shit. It's deep as shit. This antinatalist shit. And so I just fuck with any one of us that's on this call that's obviously vibing with that, because like that's one out of everything here that like you can like, you feel like you have a direct volition in. Everything else is going to be more of a mentality type shit, or it's something more than you type shit. But like that anti-natalism shit, like you feel like, okay, like I feel pleasure. I feel pleasure in a sense where it's like, okay, I'm not putting a motherfucker here. Like I take pleasure in that. You should too. You should be.
Absolutely.
I swear to God. What was that?
Absolutely. I'm the same way. And like, just going to go on that for a second. Like, Another thing that really did it for me when I was younger, because I was just telling somebody this today. I was having a conversation literally about this topic about children and why it's like completely unnecessary. But beyond ethics, well, not really beyond ethics, but a different aspect of it is looking at genetics. So when I really started to dig into genetics and how they work, and how a baby is not just a blank slate. Like, this is a being that's born with programs already running from prior genetic history. So it's like, take like generations back and put it into a child. That's what's really happening. What you program into that child is extra already, in comparison to the generations of DNA that's already in that child, and it's going to activate in their life eventually. Like, for example, um, a lot of times I would do something and my mom would always point out, "Oh, your dad used to do that. Your dad used to do that." I didn't know that. It's like I didn't know that I had mannerisms like my father. I didn't know that I got a lot of my cynicism from him, but apparently I do. And so, different things like that, like where you just look at your genetics alone and see, is that really something of value that you really want to add, onto somebody else? Like, on both sides of my family, you've got mental illness, you've got all sorts of things. And me as a young kid, just realizing that by itself, it's like, fuck, why would I want to do that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then always, I used to love to listen to the conversations that my parents and family would have at the dinner table and stuff. But it used to irk my fucking soul to hear it. It'd be like, oh, well, your great granddad had that problem. Like, every time I brought up some problem that I'm having, they would go, oh, well, your great granddad had that, or yeah, your dad had that problem. I was like, fuck, do we like, can we get some kind of good genetics here? But it's like, just that thing, that constant mesh of, you are not just making a person and then programming them. They're already a person with those programs running on top of what you're putting into them. And it's like, the world is going to also further mold them how they're going to mold your kid. Because let's face it, once you have a child, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have to put them into the school system. They're going to get their whole feel of that indoctrination, on top of all the peer pressure, on top of societal programming, on top of what you're trying to program into that child. So it's like a train crash that's like bound to happen. So it's like, once you understand even just genetics, the whole thing is blown out the water, because why the fuck would you want to do that? I mean, genetics by itself. And I mean, I was a fucking kid when I figured that out. It was like, you mean to tell me these adults in my life never thought about this? Like, they knew of all these diseases that run in our family, and they said, it'd be a good idea. Let's make some more of that shit. It's like, no, it's the most selfish, the most unconscious thing you can do is to have a child. There is no value in it at all. Like, people, especially religious folks, they like to make it, oh, well, the Lord said, multiply, be fruitful and multiply. It's like, fuck that. I mean, roaches also are fruitful and multiply. Should we applaud the roaches for having generations of roach babies? I mean, what about the rats? Should we do that with them? I mean, everybody hates fucking viruses. Should we applaud Ebola when it spreads? I mean, like, when does the buck stop? So, but that's just what I wanted to add to that first. Like, yeah, even on a genetic component, it's just the most fucked up thing to do, to keep doing stupid shit like that.
And yesterday, I can hear this clearly. Yesterday in our group chat and Discord, so I was going in on genetic and whatnot, and it made me think exactly what you're about right now, Marc. How everything we're doing is, first off, like a DF, and we're passing down all these fucked up genetics from one next to the next to the next.
Right.
And it just keeps going, especially in modern society, in modern civilization, with modern medicine, and people survived, honestly, just a few hundred years ago, died a few years, as opposed to living an entire life. And then some of them are even capable of breeding and bringing other children, like child. And as the only person in this trio here has had the fuck up of making a child, when Marcus about his grandfather having a problem, then him having a problem, bro, I see that shit live. I see my kid and how he is through his whole life right now, all the way now, and I see who I was. And it's crazy, because going being 18 years old myself. This is why I didn't want to have a kid. The exact reason was I know how much I fucking hated, how much I hate church. I hated most of the shit I had to do as a child. The only shit I liked was cooking. Like everything else was trash. And I want to implement someone, still ended up doing it like a retard. Don't be a retard, people. Don't be a retard. Still ended up implementing it. And then the crazy thing is, knowing who my father was, I could see my father in me. Clearly, I am that man's child, period. I have my mother in me. I have my father in me. Look at my kid, and I can see it in him as well. And it lets you know there is script running. I mean, obviously, we're not in a 100% scripted reality. It's not, let's not go there. But the DNA is nothing but a script attempting to continue playing itself out. Your horniness, have sex in general, is just your DNA's attempt to replicate itself further. That's all life literally is. Attempt DNA to survive and replicate. That's literally it. Life is nothing but that. Everything else is just the veneer painted based on circumstances, environment, and our ability to think as humans. We can create all bullshit. Where society, then we have clubs that are eating rituals, we have parties that are eating rituals, social media sites and apps that are literally part of our ritual. Like, it's all about that replication process. That's literally what it is. So you made me think about that yesterday when I was talking about the origins of human. We got into the origins of white folks, the melanocortin 1 mutation, just to show how these things occur throughout history, where you can go from with this group of people spread to these certain locations, have these admixtures, and those get passed down, and you could literally genetics watch certain genetics, certain genotypes, certain haplotypes just continue, and other ones get washed out. You can really watch it as it happens in real time now, let alone historic. And when you can actually grasp it, you understand what you're seeing. You're watching DNA literally just move around, replicate certain things, be replaced by certain things. So when you watch tribes and you watch different groups of people and humans, different phenotypes and genotypes and haplogroups doing the shit they've done throughout history, all the way up to the moment today, where you can continue watching, just look around, okay, so I see what haplogroup is doing this, right? You go, this is all, this is just DNA. Literally attempting to spread it in all these fashions, but what we end up with: wars, conquering, migration, invasions, slavery systems, racism, like all the things humans do to each other, which is really just them attempting to, it's really just their DNA to survive and replicate. But we see it as oppression, like, because we're not even getting down to the deeper aspect of what's actually occurring. These are genetic mutations that are attempting to spread and replicate. That's literally what humans are. It's wild to think of literally what it is.
Facts. It's like some kind of hijacking program working through people, which is essentially what the DNA is. Like I heard I read a comment rather from one author, and he said DNA is a bandit, and that made so much sense. Like, yes, it is. Like, it is a literal bandit trying to force its will, through people. Um, and it does a good job of it. Like he said, all oppression, all the things that humans do, even as a society thing, it really is just the DNA pushing itself towards survival. That really is literally everything that's happening. Like, nothing else is happening here except for the game of survival. I remember a video Bobby Hemmett did some time ago where he said survival is the ultimate religion, and it's true because every person on the planet is going that route. It's like survival. It's like the survival of the fittest. They say it all the time. Survival of the fittest. It's the same shit. It's just DNA going through the motion of trying to say, how can I keep this shit going? Arthur Schopenhauer, he said it's just the will working through the DNA. What is the will? The will to live, like the constant need to perpetuate and not cease. It's like we're fighting against this ancient, fucked up virus program running in people, and we're trying to find a way how to turn that shit off because we clearly see throughout history it's not done anything worth of value. I mean, what has humanity done except for work, survive, and replicate? Not a fucking thing. Like there's nothing worth this. So I think that humanity is past the time that somebody has come to the conclusion that we need to just shut the fucking thing off. Like let's just fucking turn the thing off and walk away. I mean, that's where we all should be. Like I hate to, and I understand it because people, in a way, I understand it because people don't want to give up this shit, even though it's bad. I mean, come on, like how much longer do you want to sit and have to pay for your fucking existence? That alone should infuriate you every day of your life. That you have to pay to exist and you didn't even ask for that shit. You know? So, I mean, why are we trying to make a bad thing work when it's clearly bad from the beginning? Like, can we just turn the fucking thing off? And that's what we're trying to do. Like, it's all about finding a way to turn this motherfucking thing off fast because it's not doing anything. It's not accomplishing anything.
I think that brings us right into the next one, human extinctionism. The very
I got
next.
some shit to say though. I told
Perfect.
you this number
Oh, go
9
ahead.
though. This is my shit real quick. This is my shit real quick. Hold on. Because you guys talked about, I like it, Shangael, Marc, you mentioned genetics, like again, the God talk, like that's the creativity, like this this is how we're here from our mother and father type shit. You know what I mean? Like this shit. We gonna get up. We gonna get up. I got some shit real quick. You mentioned that shit from Bobby. Shout out the fucking spirit teacher. Fucking humanity is a religion. That's what we just talked before about with the politics. You know what I mean? Like it's the faith. You know, faith in another man. I mentioned that with my imposition and spirituality video. Like it's not good. You know what I mean? Like if you want to associate something, don't say it's good because now it's like what the fuck that you have to depend on something else, just like a sky daddy. Now you need to depend on father government or again anyone outside. That's not a good like. Don't even say shit. Like you have to be in that type of predicament. That's not again good. Like what the and so yeah, you hit it on that with humanity being a religion because yeah, you are putting your faith in someone else, and that's a fucked up scenario to have to be in. And that's what we're all and so like how you hit it, genetics. Man, we all have something. And at bottom, we all men here right now in the panel right now. You know, I'm sure most of us are probably men, but shout out to I always say my female, you know, anti-natalist, anti-cosmic voidist, ethicist, abolitionist, because those ones you guys are of a different echelon, no doubt,
All
higher
right.
accord, honestly, than us, no doubt. But man, like we know, like you were saying with the hormones, man, like this shit is a fucking talking about program that you don't need to learn some shit. That shit will learn you'll experience. You're like, God damn, you know, fucking you just want to fuck anything, man. That drive. Again, I say Aries, man. I trust me. It's so it is so bad. And so
It's intense,
why?
man.
Yeah, why? Why would you? This shit is so it's so powerful, you know,
Yes.
this hormone shit. It is so that's why I thank the Lord like that I didn't fuck up, man, because it
Right.
happens, man. And like you can still come to this mentality. We have plenty of people. Shout out my boy here, Shangael, Danny Sean. There's plenty of people that can understand, like, yes, we understand as a concept. You know, that's not something you would deliberately want to do when you understand the totality of what that brings, let alone for like everything, but like specifically that's individual you're bringing here. So like you hit it right there with the word genetics. Why would you want to impose any genetics to begin with? You know what I like?
Right.
So I just wanted to say that real quick. Like y'all hit it on that term, just genetics. Like fuck that. The fuck.
And just another thing about that, just another aspect to it is I was thinking about how even people who might have prior knowledge about this, even still they fuck up. Why? Because the urge. I mean, this is something that we are really
Let me
competing
urge.
against. Right. Exactly. We are literally competing against the ingrained fucking control system. Like you're going to do this even though you know mentally it's like, I don't want to do this, but it's like, oh yes you do. It's like so it's almost like you've been pulled by strings. And I think if you ever read what was his name? Thomas Ligotti, his conspiracy against the human race. He talks about that in his book, how humans are literally like puppets, and we are being manipulated through these strings of the genetics, of the biology, of these urges that compel people to do certain things and to want things, even though they might know mentally it's not good. But because that urge is so strong, that will to life, that will to perpetuate, it makes people do stupid shit. I mean, that's literally how it works. Like, I read a statistic that well over 50% of people are oops babies. Like, no real thought had been had gone into actually making children. It just happened because the sex, it's like it's just that urge. It just made them do it. So, but that's what we're really up against. It's like, so on one hand, you're dealing with the rationality aspect of it, but then again, it always goes back to that bear in the room, the biology. That's a hard one.
Yeah, I like how you said the bear, B biology. Yeah, yeah. It's like just instinct with that bear. Like it's just innate.
It's
Like, yeah,
hardcore,
it's
man. It's
yeah,
Even
yeah.
hardcore.
Yeah, but yeah, that's just like we mentioned before with number 10, the state, any type of political, societal, theoretical system. Of course, anti-natalism, we've harped on that shit. So yeah, we can continue on. We know with that, but human extinctionism for the next one for number 8. So I'm gonna say a little bit for what I see of this concept, for what I see it to be. Human extinctionism, of course, ending human sentience, not specifically sentience in and of itself, from my understanding, just humans, right? Going, and I feel like people might say that. People say that with already anti-natalism in a sense, that at least we gotta go. Them other motherfuckers, whatever. But we can at least, again, what can we do? We can at least try to control, I guess, us specifically. So that's what I see. I think with this term of human extinctionism, because again, like in a clear sense, like sentience as a whole, like with different bacteria, fungi, or I don't know, like other things that are just so minuscule that still are technically feeling or some shit. Like it's a lot to eradicate everything, but like technically humans, like we're like the biggest type of sentience here, so it's easy to let us fucking go. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm seeing from this number 8 human and so again, theoretically, we could, we always say, what was it, that one show? What was it? Detective. What was that one with the Matthew McConaughey? Like us
Oh,
walking.
True Detective.
True Detective, us
Yeah.
walking into oblivion together and just with the harmony and gracefully exiting. Like, again, everything we're talking about is just concepts, right? As we know,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
theoretically, we could do that, but you know how this shit goes. Um, but yeah, I mean, I get it on a certain level. We are clearly fucking up a lot of shit, even worse so. But as we know, sentience as a whole already, fucking we just say the term animal kingdom, you don't gotta say anything else, just animal kingdom, like it's
Mhm.
just fucking barbaric brutality shit. But yeah, us
Horrible.
humans, no doubt, we're definitely fucking it up a lot. And again, we have more dictation on ending our shit. That's why we're not promoting our shit. We can't fucking technically, like, I can't fucking go to the jungle. I could, but like I'm gonna fucking die if I fucking try to castrate or fucking go to a lion, to rip their balls off or some shit. So I know what I can do within my own life type shit. And so yeah, number 8, human extinctionism. It's a level for what I gotta
It
say.
is. It's definitely a level, and the thing that works well with that, at least in terms of knowing human nature, is how destructive humans are naturally. I perfectly believe in humanity's ability to absolutely fuck itself. Like, somebody's going to press the red button and launch those fucking nukes. I just know it. It's like, like humanity has developed mass weapons of destruction, absolute catastrophic weapons. I mean, they actually sat there and thought of how to make nuclear bombs and did it. So humanity is very destructive. At the same time, it's trying to perpetuate and safeguard itself, but it seems like humans are prone to destroy anyway. And it's like, even if we didn't do anything, we would step back, humanity would inevitably kill itself anyway because of this need for power, this obsession with it, and this obsession with using force to get your way. And when everybody else has a big gun and you got a bigger gun too, you're gonna blow up a lot of shit. So so humanity definitely can destroy itself. And I think right now we see a lot of that happening with the geopolitics in terms of dealing with nuclear powers like Russia and China and all these different things, and how the world is literally a powder keg right now. All we have to do is fuel that fire, and that fire has been fueled right now. Like, I mean, cool heads are not going to prevail for long. So there's that.
I want to pick that, fuel that fire. Because when it comes to these elites, when it comes to their transhumanism, when it comes to their AI, they're racing that fire. Which will happen first? Will their hand be forced either by us or by each other? Because they are. There is 10% of the agenda they don't agree upon. They're human psychopaths. Like, they're not 100% perfectly in line with each other, and they are exactly the types to be like, "I'll burn this whole bitch before I let you have." Please, we need to fuel that. Even when it comes to them, we need to put them in a position where they're like, "I'll destroy this whole world before I let you have it," and we're like, "Oh, okay, thank you." Like, that's thank you. We got to try to get them to push that button. So I'm always trying to fuel the Gen Alphas, Gen Zs, and the millennials, their protests, their riots, their fucking, all their angry shit, and preferably step further where they just start burning shit down. Like, I want to see Nepal, what happened in Nepal, but I want to see it without end. I want them to kill all the politicians, all the fucking elites, all their powerful people. And that's the type of have to be preaching. Even you know what I was gonna say, especially if we're the type of individual who wouldn't go out there and physically ourselves, but we know that happen. Preach that shit and be honest about it. You know, hey, I'm not the guy, but I know you motherfuckers out there. Like, like, rile that up. Feed the fire with that in order to get this shit burning. That's what needs to happen. And if we're not feeding that type of fire in all over the world, those nuclear never get pressed. Like, there has to be a buildup causes these things to occur. When America looking at Iran, which I talked about yesterday in group chat, he was talking about and the Persians and these old beefs between these Persian Slavs, these Germanics up here, and these Franks and Anglos. Like, these are old beefs. They have beefs. They have real old tribal beefs. Been around for a couple thousand years. Like, you can fuel these things when they start doing that. Like, oh, we don't want America to bomb Iran. I fucking do. Because that would force Russia's hand to help them. If about like, actually willing to risk that nuclear war. I want them all to do this shit. All to be. Do we just lose Marc? Is Marc on? See Marc? Am I tripping?
Yeah, his shit probably back now.
Okay, all right. Am I can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that was really weird. So I had left for a second and came back, and I was just like, couldn't get back on at all. Like, couldn't talk or anything. So I had to jump off for a second, come back on.
They trying.
Well, they trying to stop this shit, bro. As soon as you brought up nuclear bombs, they were like, get the fuck out of here. Like, kick him off. But I'm saying, like, we do have to feed that fire all levels, whether it's political, economic distress, whether it's fucking countries versus country, all this shit. Like, again, we're going higher list here because you and I can't extinct humanity ourselves. Like, we can't single-handedly walk out and just fucking Gojo and Sukun the whole world. You know, like, we don't have those powers, but mentally, consciously, subconsciously, we absolutely fucking do. Birds, we do. This is why they're throttling. This is why they just kicked Marcus off. Like, because they know words are power. We was talking about this, and we'll talk about this again later because we'll talk about it. But we've been talking the last few days about a character named Erwin in Attack on Titan. And a character
I was about to bring it up. Keep going, boy.
Well, Erwin gave a speech that created a fucking demon. And if without speech, this other character does not become the demon he becomes, your words really do affect people. You be beating people over the head with this shit. you think it's useless, because I have motherfuckers change over years, where it's taking years. Or like, I know a motherfucker right now who's like, you know what? We really should set this bitch on fire. And he was that way. He was amenable to violence. He was, for certain aspects and stuff like. But the more I myself saying this shit, and the more conversation we have, even when they're short ones, because we don't all that often, we talk enough, but the more and more I hear, yeah, man, we got to get this violence started. Like, we got to get this shit popping off. We got to get this shit, get this shit burning real fast. And you'll notice that over years, like, my mother just said to me today, the Epstein files came out, 3 million of them, and talking about Trump, Bill Clinton, and sides doing this shit and whatnot, because she's a Democrat. And however, you know what? There definitely needs to be a reckoning. And then, say a week ago or 2 weeks ago, when this whole ICE political shit started, when they shot that Renee, right? Day one, my mom was saying things like, we need to change laws, we need to do certain things, but they were all in the politics, right?
Mm-hmm.
A week later, she's like, you know what? I'm with you now. This needs to be destroyed. If you keep saying this shit enough, even the peaceful, and if my mother, she's the epitome of what a Christian should be. Like, she is Jesus Christ and lady, like, non-violent, no matter what.
Yep.
And slowly but surely, I'm watching crack appear in that facade, where it's like, yeah, I think something needs to happen to these people. Like, but that's only because someone in her home saying those things, when the rest of them are not saying that to her. Only one person is on the entire planet, and that's me. And I'm watching these things, and that's why I always tell people, when you do talk to people, pay attention to where they are every time you talk to them, and see if they're in any direction. And if they are, keep pushing that shit. Feed that fire. Go ahead, Marcus. Say something.
Great point. And I was telling Alyssa Mind this back in a conversation that I had with him some time ago, where even our presence affects things. Like, when you add your words to it, and your presence alone tends to change things over time, because, like you said, people do gravitate. Like, they listen even though they don't want to hear it at first. They might fight you on it, but then the more you keep saying it, the more you keep presenting these ideas to them, even subconsciously, they understand it. I mean, because everybody hates fucking work. That's like the common denominator. So get somebody mad on that level. It's like, man, I fucking hate this shit. I want to burn all this shit down. It's like, okay, where do we go from there? It's like, do you really mean that enough to actually, want that to happen? Like, because a lot of people, they are complacent until the frustration is to a point where they can't be complacent anymore. And I think that's really where we're going to head in terms of this year and the years going forward, where we see all this pressure building up. And that's going to be the key player, the pressure, because the more under pressure people are, the more anxious they get, and then the more angry they get, and then boom, powder keg moment, like the clash happens. So that's already underway right now, because people are getting fucked left and right by everybody. I mean, even the ones that like the politics shit. You see the Democrats and Republicans, they're all pretty much the same fucking thing. Left wing, right wing. Well, guess what? It's still the same bird. Like, these people go to each other's parties after they get done arguing with each other on camera about, the Democrats, the Republicans, but then behind closed doors, these guys are celebrating, popping champagne with each other. I've seen it happen. It's like, they are not as divided as you think they are. They appear that way on camera because they understand how that works with you, but behind closed doors, these guys are on the same page, running the same script. You know what I mean? And everybody's paying for it. So the more anger and frustration that builds up over time, I think that we're going to see a lot more of that powder keg moment where this shit just pops. And that's really what needs to happen, because that's the only way that's going to change, through that anger and through that frustration building up like that.
And that's why I love how my boy Shangael, because I have the upcoming talk next month for Pete the Mythos, but Shangael on his channel, he's been making posts on Attack on Titan, and we got to talk a little bit about it on this point number 8 here with human extinctionism. I'm sure many of you guys, we referenced that one apart from other shows and movies, and we're going to get to that specifically for that upcoming stream. I definitely encourage anyone. I have a post, and if you go to that specific stream to come, there's different things that we're going to talk about. So see anything that you may have not watched for specifically a movie, because that's easy to just watch real quick. Because we're going to talk about many different type of things, and we may still talk about Attack on Titan there, but we're already kind of mentioning it here. But it gets into this number 8, human extinctionism, because what is it? I think it's Eldians, right? Eldians with the Aaron and all them niggas. They had that that Titan blood, whatever type of shit. The whole thing is this, with the whole, like we Aaron was trying to, fucking eradicate everything. And technically this is the thing kind of with the Avengers movie with Thanos, like they kind of try to soften it a bit. Aaron was doing it for his friends type shit, but no, we know the esotericism, like, no, really, it's really, he should have, we know like everything should have fucking went away. Like, why would you even just want to be with your fucking friends at that point? Oh, we're just in our little community type. No, the whole shit gotta go. And people that know that part.
Right.
But like that concept really ties in great here with the human extinctionism, because that type of show, I remember that season 4, that really was when it caused a separation. Now you have one part of the community with Attack on Titan where they're like, oh man, Aaron, how could he? So evil and just ugh. And then there's the other side with the flock type of mentality, like, no, this shit gotta go. Jaeger Ritz type. I remember there was I used to watch RTT TV. They had a track being a Jaeger or something. These niggas, man. But yeah, because it's like, why are we continuing this? This shit gotta go. And so it hones in on this point right now. Because we've been going up the levels and everything. We mentioned before how we, Marc mentioned just simply work. That's the fucking most popular video on my fucking channel. Like he mentioned, like we all know a certain relativity, and obviously with work, like your fucking body, you got to eat already, sleep, all this other mundane shit. This all work. Like anyone can understand that level. So it's understanding why that's the fucking most popular video I have currently. But again, just keep on asking why, right? And so this level of the human extinctionism, it ties really great into that show. And it just shows a different type of mentality. And it's great that you mentioned that point, Shangael, with your mom, because I want to get to that point with my mom too, where she can be like, yeah, this shit got it. Mom, that matters, bro. And people can think the same way that you are, not because subconsciously it's like Marc mentioned, that's whether you like it or not. But even consciously, when they can get to that point, that's even more, even because that's even getting more for expressed, and from there it can get permeated even more to the conscious of other people's, and even further to the subconscious of other people from there. It's just the ripple effect, like we talked about from before. And that again, that Attack on Titans show really just it shows that concept. Like, what side are you on? Do you think this should continue or not? Basically, right? Humanity as a concept or not? I know they were mentioning specifically Eldians, but no, all this shit got to go. You know what I mean? If you're really actually trying to contemplate, the true essence of what is really getting talked about in those type of shows and everything. And so like that show was just great in that element. I just the plot was thick and everything. And again, it goes to this point that we should know as a concept, like this shit gotta go. I don't give a fuck who you are, man. And this is why we mentioned before with the state political we're going up, but like I don't give a fuck who you are. I mentioned from the other prior talk, like I hope to see the day where anybody that's on a podium or anything, the first thing that they say is this shit gotta go. And then they can talk about, ICE or the Venezuela or Russia, fucking North Korea. And then the way that they end the speech is, again, this shit gotta go, because we all should know that. I don't care what you're doing per se, technically in a certain level, but mentally you should. And this is my thing. It's all a psyop. All these good, like my boy Marc and everyone was mentioning, they don't give a fuck about us. That's all fucking just a fucking psychological shit that they're playing on us. Like you mentioned, behind closed doors, they're fucking around. Just you got them good on that speech. Like they don't give a fuck. And so it's like, again, that's why that if you can get to that anti-natalist level, it's like everything else. That's why with these concepts, like, yeah, you can say you're an anti-natalist or whatever, but like also know like there's more concepts above that, just mentally and like again, universally, cosmically, like no, you're technically though affiliated with more than just, again, that particular term. So we're just trying to, the mentality, mind over matter, like these things mean a lot. And so we mentioned before with the prior talk, when we both were, all three of us were here, you know, what's that nigga's name? Guy Edward Barkus or some shit.
Yeah.
All hell.
Yeah. We know what could happen in the future. And so, again, this type of anti-natalist community, if more people on this end, because before we know it was talk about Attack on Titan season 4, the divide. There should be less of a divide. We should understand why niggas are doing that type of shit. I always say it. I don't have that heart to do, like, I get it. You know, we're not saying you have to but if you see that, either support it like my boy Shangael said, or keep the fuck quiet and let niggas do what the fuck they feel compelled to do. And you should understand why the fuck, because they're on your same side too. That's the true compassion. And it's that's the duality with this whole humanity and everything. You know what I mean? The true actual light is gonna maybe look a little dark for how we perceive it in our third dimensional reality. So yeah, man, I just wanted to mention that part with the Attack on Titan, because it just fits really good with this number 8 human extinctionism. Shout out to my boy Aaron.
And just with that whole thing with Aaron, like we see what happened with him when that divide wasn't clear enough. Like his own friends turned on him. His own friend, the ones that were supposed to be there and actually see it through, turn on him at the last minute. It's like, so again, it goes back to that thing of, just because somebody has the same sounding idea as you doesn't mean they have the exact same agenda as you. So you got to make sure that the people who are with you have that same agenda down to the letter, because if they're wishy-washy, they're going to be like Aaron's friends and turn on you.
Yeah.
And that's like a great lesson in and of itself. Like, you know, be down with it and actually be down with it, or just don't.
Let me jump on that real. Look at my background picture. You see Flock there, right before he about to do the greatest moment in it, almost have the greatest moment in history, right? This is why Flock, my favorite character, and why Erwin is my second favorite character. Not the beasts, not even Aaron, who's third, you know, not who was gonna do the rumble. The motherfuckers who knew they couldn't. Erwin is not Levi. Erwin is not none of them who's really great at flying around and cutting down. But what we're really good at is seeking truth, preaching, and motherfuckers to sacrifice themselves for the cause. That is his job. That's his role. And as a preacher, he got motherfuckers to ride their death, which is what created Flock. Flock knew. He said when he looks over Erwin, who's not, after they rode into the fucking boulder being thrown at them by the Beast Titan, and everyone died, Flock just survived. He realizes Erwin's not dead, and he looks down at him and says, "We're going to win this. We need a devil. Do it." I'm not like I'm carried that motherfucker like 2 miles back to get him a shot so he can keep leading. He said, "No, you don't have to die here. We fucking need you to lead us." So he realized right there, when Erwin was saved, what did Flock do? He had to become that devil. He had to become the demon to the devil. He said, I can't do it. I will not be able to save us. He saw genocide coming. We're fucked. Who can actually save us? And he saw Aaron. He became Aaron's right hand. He became his mouthpiece, his preacher. He's doing everything that Aaron told him to do, like, because he knew he couldn't get the job done. He could not, but Aaron could. So what did he do? He became Aaron's loyal soldier. What Aaron's friends do based on their bullshit morality, they turned their back on him and started murdering their own comrades. Think of that. Like, really think, like, that's what those types of people do. They sound like you might be there for you, but they're not. They're not really about your ideology, your agenda, the outcome, the end goal. They're not about that. You get what I mean? We're just losing niggas. We just they're not taking this conversation at all. They hate it, love it.
Right.
But we'll just keep going until he comes back. But Aaron decided to do that. He knew his friends would betray him. So he didn't go to them, he Flock. And Flock rode for him until the very last moment. When I'm preaching this, the reason why my picture, look at it again, is because that's who people need to become. Flock didn't start off as some goon or some gangster. Flock was a sentimental individual who was scared for his fucking life, but he cared about himself and he cared about his people. Flock is representation in that show. He is the representation of the average alien, the average-minded, who's looking around at the main cast of, protagonists and being like, y'all niggas is crazy and gonna get us all fucking killed. Like, when they turned on Aaron, who stayed with Aaron? Did. Not his friends, not the people who was with everyone. Flock, because they were ideologically aligned. And this is why I'm always saying there's nothing as friends. There's allies, enemies, and acquaintances. His friends became enemies. Flock was not his friend, who couldn't stand Flock talk shit to them every chance he got, because he was speaking the truth, no one was in front of him. That's the one thing I loved about him too. Flock always spoke the truth. Everything out of that motherfucker's mouth is objectively correct. First time you see him, from the very first time, he's even the one who recognizes that they changed when they saw combat. They're sitting at a table talking. He walks over to them. And he's like, yeah, so what happened? And they're like, you really want? Nah, I think I'm good. I'll ask you later. Like, but he their changes. And then he realizes that change happens to him. He fully rides with it. He what it is. He realizes what the world is. Now, for those type of men within the universe, within the show, they're trying to survive. We're trying to end everything. But think about it from perspective. Welcome back, brother. But think about it from perspective. He and his people are trying to survive, right? What does he see? A world of genocide. Every gun on the planet is pointed at him and his people. Not sound like us? Does that not sound like the folks on this side? Like, are we not like the smallest people who say we want to end everything? We're the smallest percentage of humans on the planet. Let's be real.
Absolute smallest.
When it comes to existence, we're the smallest percentage of beings' existence. Those end existence, right? In their world, these Eldians are the small percent. And he recognizes that, and he realizes there's only two ways this is going to end. They're going to genocide us, or we're genocide them. There's no two ways about it. One of us got to go extinct. It has to occur. So he puts his support behind Aaron, one who can get it done. He starts doing anything within his power to help Aaron. When his people get attacked at the shipyard, because they're going to take the ship so they can go stop Aaron from doing the thing, he's going to command his troop, the lack of experience against superior veterans and 3 Titans. Like, and his reinforcements get blown up to the point where it's just him standing there in complete shock, because forget how fast that really happens. Watching it in the show, but in reality, that shit happened for minutes. The whole force was just. What is? Oh! I clicked the wrong button. You see my picture? If y'all know that picture, y'all know what time it is when he about to lock in.
Yeah.
He doesn't cry, and if you look at his earlier character, who he started off as when he's cowering in fear of death, Erwin's speech in his fucking. I want everyone here in the chat to go YouTube a video. Go search a video called "Flock is Erwin's Legacy." It's a minute, 1 second long. Let me just look at my history here, just to show y'all real quick exactly. Because I want y'all to look at this video. I don't just say this shit. This is what I'm gonna do, right? So I'm gonna click it right here.
I'll put it in the chat too.
This one, right? Can I line it up? I line it up. You see that where it says legacy? It says is Erwin Legacy, Attack on Titan. A minute and a second. I want y'all to go look up specific video, and you could do it right now on another screen or something if you want to. Listen to the words. Look at his actions in that moment. That's what he's hearing. That's what he's thinking. That's what's affecting him. Erwin's words. And the fall is comrades. This is why we hail the names. Gaia with Marcus, Aaron A, Sky, the Ronin, etc., etc. Name the list. Was it like anytime? Like I need to get that list going. Actually, I need the list of the fallen. This is why we hail their names. This is why when the Ronin, all hail his name, took life that day, me and Marcus went live, celebrated him. We didn't cry. We didn't whine and complain. We didn't say, why did he do it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like in Irwin's speech, he said, brave fallen, those who fought. The anguished fallen,
Man.
those who died in pain, who weren't necessarily fighters, but they died in pain and took their own lives. He's hailing all of them. That speech that you could hear in that video, and that is what Flock is fighting for, his people. So when I watch that show and peep the mythos in it, you know what I like to do? I like to pretend the LD is us.
Yeah, basically.
Now, Zeke had, because we talked about Anarchism earlier, Zeke had a plan, Titan, to compulsively force antinatalism upon the elder, which I was fine with. But in context, I was not, because I'm like, wait, so you force them out of existence while the world continues? That's not good enough to the rumble and your plan. You get what I'm saying? Like, you have but if you're going to pick the two, nigga, you're picking against your own people. This is why I always say, even though I gladly support it, I 100% all hail Sky, all hail the Ronin, all hail anybody who's ever taken themselves out of this place by their own will, overriding the body's ability for survival. It's what's the word? It's instinct for survival. That's powerful. You got willpower if you could do that. I know that because I can. So I know you got it. And though I'm in full, at the same time, one day, I think I want to do this. I kind of need you. I kind of need you here. Because if we're going to get fucking up, I need some troops.
The networking a little bit bad, Shangael. I don't know what the fuck, man.
Of course.
It wasn't doing too bad, but it's been kind of getting a little. Just wanted to mention that. I don't know what, but it was getting really bad. You said there at the end. I just want to make sure you. Yeah, I don't know.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. But it's like every constantly.
Yeah, like every 4 or 5 seconds, it just kind of just like type shit. But
of course, because I'm talking about side. Like, oh my God. Can y'all?
Yeah, I think I need to get a Rumble or some shit. There was somebody that commented, it was like, you want Rumble or some shit? I'm like, but I mean, I get it because this YouTube censorship shit is crazy. Because yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense that it was so clear a few weeks ago, and now it's just like, what the fuck? It was just kind of getting a bit worse there. So I just wanted to, because I just wanted to be sure you were aware. But we get the gist that. Actually, I'm trying to think of what to say right now. What you just. Oh man, but you gotta support your tribe, you gotta support your comrades, and shout out to everyone that's fallen from before. It's important to remember those names. That's what they mentioned with Attack on Titan, with Irwin, to Flock, and all them other niggas that were currently in it, and it goes back to that first point when 12 with the whole nihilism. So do our lives not matter or some shit? But it matters to us, you know what I mean? What we're doing right now, and what, every single one of us on this call right now, listening, commenting, talking, or vibing, thinking about some higher shit, you matter to me, you know what I mean? Whatever else outside of us, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? There was another comment like, yeah, we're like not even a 1%. Of course, but you gotta think. Right, not even, of course. But like the soul, you look at like the sun glyph and you got that little dot in the middle, but like that little dot is everything. That's a potent, you know what I'm saying? And so niggas like us, like, I'm sorry, like, yes, we can get a little bit more, of course, but it's just the intensification, even with niggas just already in us. The more I just do this, you know what I mean? Let alone anybody that can look to watch this or anything. But like, I feel more in myself, you know what I mean? And like, that matters, you know what I mean? Like, this is not a calling for the many, it's for the few. And the more that we can just further bond with who we know we can bond with, that's all we need to do. Don't worry about anything outside of whatever No. Again, everything is simple. Just like all the things that we're saying, the concepts. It's all simple. All the simple things are the things that are the highest magnitude, the highest profoundness. It's all this shit is simple, but it's just whether or not you're with it. You know what I mean? But for those of us that can truly get it and go with it to the highest extent that you feel compelled to do, like my boy Shangael, I talked it times and times again. Like I'm a preacher in this bitch. I'm trying to say some shit to get some nigga. Who's that one guy that you've been linking before? What's his name? Like Rashad. What's that guy's name?
I think Rashad Jamal, wasn't it?
Rashad Jamal. Yeah.
Man, I gotta just put that name in the chat. When that brother speaks, I'm like, God damn. I'm like, man, I just feel like I got it. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a certain calling, you know what I mean? And we're all just playing our part. And sometimes, depending on who listens
There
to
he
something,
is.
this, that, the fourth, again, with the ripple effect, it's more. And so it's just do what's in your lane, even if you're just thinking about it. We mentioned time and time again with the meditation on the annihilation. You know what I mean? Like every little thing that we do matters, you know what I mean? And so
Yes.
yeah. Worth it. Yeah, I'll put that in there. Rashad Jamal. Yeah. And so it's just it's so and so we've been harping on don't get in this like defeatist mentality. Oh well, no one's going to agree no, do what you can do, And so I just wanted to harp on that because my boy Erwin was that, everyone in that show, it was like, man, this is a lost cause. But Erwin was like, no, keep going forward. Erwin got his fucking arm bit off, and so he said, no, nigga, keep going forward. And like, that's what this is, and you should feel compelled to keep going. I just, and so yeah, I feel like that's what I was wanting to mention. Just following that, you can try right now, Shangael, because it wasn't bad. It was just at the end there was getting a little bit. So I just wanted to kind of piggyback off.
Do I sound any better?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah, every time your face, you're like,
keep going because it's
Yeah, keep
every like
going.
few seconds, but it was just bad for that little yeah, keep going because I'll let you know if it gets like it was just, but you good keep going.
What I was trying to say is basically we are the Eldians. Like you see how the world in Attack on Titan treats the Eldians all over the planet. They treat them the same no matter where they are. Like, but imagine if, so we're the Eldians. They first do bullying, getting rid of all the outsiders, right? And then they practice the antinatalism. This plan plus Zeke's plan. Because if we're going to support and promote and carry out antinatalism, be the only people on the planet doing it, it's not going to accomplish the goal, right? You got to mix and match these solutions based on their level of effectiveness. So, and I see that in Attack on Titan, where Eren is going to carry out the rumbling, Zeke wants to carry out the compulsory antinatalism, Flock supports Eren, Erwin is the truth. Do you see all these roles that they're playing? You look at every role. That's why I would say the mythos. Find out who you are in the story. Which person in the story represents your mindset. And then when you understand that, study that character and become more like them in this reality. You know what I'm saying? Erwin is the truth seeker, and a preacher, and a priest. And I see that in myself a lot. So I study Erwin. Flock, one way, he was very mental, pathetic, etc. And over time, it comes for his people because he realizes that the world needs to go. He loves his people, you know what I'm saying? But the world needs to go. I see a lot of that in me. So I study Flock. Flock is my favorite fucking character reason from where he started to where he goes. I love that motherfucker. Eren, when you look at the reason why he alters in the end, it's because of his friends. Because he just can't bring himself to do it. When I look at Eren, I go, that's something to get over. As nice as that sounds, it's like, oh, well, that's why he's a good moral good in the end, even though he just already murdered 80% of the planet. Like, might as well do that last do the last 20%. Because every simulation he ran, because he could see the simulation he ran, killing that 20% required him to kill his friends. It was a requirement. He couldn't do it any other way. every single time they had to die because they were going to stand in his way. So this, can you kill your friends? I'm not saying go. Yeah, he just told us to go and murder our friends. No, it came down to it. To get what needs to be done, could you kill your friends? Could you kill your own family? Because I want you to realize in that show, when Aaron's friends, what do? Go kill their comrades, to go ship, to go kill Aaron. But Aaron can't kill them. Flock to kill them. He was overwhelmed. He still tried to get the job done, couldn't get it done, but he did everything he could, right? He tried everything he could and still failed, which is highly commendable with the odds he was facing. But Aaron killed everyone there. There's a they have, if you go look at the scene, if you go watch the show, for anyone who has, there's a scene where Mika, Aaron's kind of like love interest, his ish, like the younger, that's like his girl. Reason why
Yes, it's doing it again.
Yep, doing it
It's
again.
doing it pretty bad, yeah. But yeah, you raised a great point, and I think my boy Bazin in the chat was mentioning, like, you have allies, right? Like, you don't really got no friends. Which one was that right here? This is why you should have no friends, only allies, not even just philosophical allies. Dark, occult, Luciferian, philosophical chaos allies, in which they shall see that it must end ASAP.
Absolutely.
Because yeah, the friends will hold you back.
Shout out to Vazen for that comment. That was great.
No doubt, no doubt. And I feel like we talked a lot with this human extinctionism. We can keep moving up the ladder and go over to the promortalism. And it ties in with that, again, the Attack on Titan, Aaron. You know what I mean? Like he because I feel like with this whole promortalism one, it's kind of like, okay, well, if you feel like, you shouldn't continue living, well, you better, die a martyr type shit, do something, like go out with the, you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. And so make it of a significance, because you should know, the way that we're going with the valency, we're talking with the mentality, you know what I mean? We're not talking within a certain type of, we're talking about a certain type of mind, a certain type of spirit, a certain type of person, you know what I mean? So we're talking about those that are the certain pro-mortalism mentality, they're of our accord. And so that's what the Edgar fucking Barkus, I always fucking butcher these niggas' names, but you know what I'm like there's a purpose, there's a intention with how they're closing the shop of their own personal life. And it's monumental, it's admirable shit, you know what I mean, when you making a marking for it, because it makes a difference, like it had put people on, to these type of concepts where they didn't know before, so there's a clear magnitude to it, if that is what you feel compelled to do, you know what I mean. It shouldn't be that it's really a conviction that you have, someone can lead you to the water, but you got to drink it for yourself type shit. And so we just letting you know, like, hey, if that's how you see yourself to go, again, make it worthwhile type shit. Why the fuck else, talk about legacy and everything, like, at least for a little bit, niggas gonna know about you. You know what I mean? While we here, we will for the fallen comrades. You know what I mean? We will put your name. And anyone that's of this similar mentality, that's what I mean. We're all of the same harmony. Any scale, like you should be able to understand. That's why I was harping from before, this anti-natalist shit. Don't be feeling some type of way. No, you better be vibing. If you see that type of shit, keep coming, because it will. Because this shit, like we know, it's a feeling. This entropy, it's all in us. We're like, what the fuck on a day to day. Let me tell you real quick before we go any other way here, because I work in the medical field, man, and let me tell you, I work in the mental health shit, man. Yeah, man, it's honestly sad, bro. It is so sad when I just see the shit that people have to, like, try to get other, again, the dependency. They have to go to the doctor or some shit, and they want them to, like, stop everything that they're doing for them specifically. I'm like, yo, I mean, it's so bad nowadays, just seeing the
horrible.
Oh, just the pain that people are going through. You know what I mean? And man, it's just ending this shit, man. It's just ending it. And then so for people that, like, again, like are again off edge, they're like, man, this is like, again, make it worthwhile, And so for this promortalism, it's a point that I'm not personally, we'll see it come down the line. It kind of goes with like the assisted euthanasia type shit, I feel like, too. You know what I mean? And you know, I think it
Right.
was Against Life. She's been harping on that shit. Because if that were to be a case that it was more accessible, niggas are gonna go. And I'm gonna
Oh
tell you,
yeah,
you talk
quick.
about this whole Edgar Barkus nigga type shit. Niggas would like put a video up and be like, you know what I mean? They'll do a last message. You know what I mean? And that's in part why they don't want to have that there with this number
Yeah,
7
exactly.
approach. Are you serious? Are you, if they really cared about people and like, okay, you know, we'll continue this existence, but we'll at least give you that, you know, true detective, graceful exit, you know, for your person. If that was really the case, they know the implication of things. They know it's all math, you know, the math. They know that's, you know, and so it's so obvious that people will see that and recognize, wow, you know, this person that I knew before, he's not here anymore. She's not. Oh, I thought they always had it so good. Why aren't they living in this life no more? Oh my God, the world would go topsy turvy. And so that's in part why I feel like that shit's not really readily accessible for the common man. But yeah, for anyone that's like, fuck that, I'm still gonna go out whatever way I can. Hey, again, make it worthwhile because it's significant. It's going to leave an imprint to whoever the fuck can look and be aware of what the fuck you know put yourself to go through. So just again, make it worthwhile if that's who you are. Definitely make it worthwhile because we've seen it. We've seen the significance of it. Just saying the names matters. From there, again, there's an energy for it. There, we know what the name. There's a story to it. So even when you just say the name, that matters. You know what I mean? We know the protocol. We know the MO. We know the red book. We know the manifesto. You know when we say these. You know what I mean? So there's an experience. There's an
Mhm.
intention. There's everything. When we reflect upon certain fallen comrades. So yeah, shout out to this number 7 with Promortalism. For those of you that are on that level, hey man, y'all got some balls type shit, you know, and all this shit. I feel you though, because goddamn, as we know, the mental, we know this. Like that's why I say to people, you know, what do you like doing, man? I like going to bed, nigga. Like we all have a certain level to it, you know. So yeah, that's what I got to
Yeah,
say right
yeah.
now for this number 7.
And that's why, and that's actually one of the reasons why I like to study throughout ancient history, especially in different legends and mythologies about the death cults that have existed throughout the world and how they all have that in common. Like it's always this this readiness to die that ends up making the strongest soldiers. I mean, just look at um you know, the kamikaze, for example, of Japan. These were like teenagers, dude. They were teenagers, like 18, 19, getting into planes, knowing that they were about to destroy themselves for greater Japan. Like, I mean, and that was just on a national scale of what they were doing. But these guys, they would have tea with their comrades before they would go into their planes. They would bow, they would put on their ceremonial scarves, they would get up, have their tea, and then go off into their plane. And they would fly those planes full speed into the ships. Like they were just absolutely fucking fearless. And all of Japan respected them. The kamikaze were absolutely respected because of that sacrifice. They gave their own blood as a sacrifice for that cause. And so you know, just look throughout history, any type of resistance fight. For example, you know, the Palestinians and how they behave with the Israelis, you know, how they're willing to, you know, how you're willing to put a bomb on yourself and go boom at an enemy checkpoint. I mean, that just because you're so fucking tired of them holding their fucking boot to your head. And you're like, you know what, motherfuckers, I got something for you. And you go out that way because it's all about conviction. And if you're tired enough of being with the boot on your fucking head, you're going to do something about it. And you're going to lose that fear of death because the fear of death is what keeps everybody in chain. When you drop the fear of death, you become somebody fearless and you graduate. You become like a god, god damn it. You don't fear death anymore. You don't fear the consequences of other people, and you're ready to fucking die for something that you believe. That's powerful shit right there.
Now, if y'all can hear that well, but if you go to my page, my channel, right, and you look at the tippy top of my channel, that is a picture. You see these soldiers, see that tank, see that? That is a teenage girl with a beautiful orange dress on. You see it as well because it's just her legs are all dirty, and in her hand is a flower that she's bringing to the soldiers. In her other is a detonator,
Mm.
and bombs her body.
Mm.
This teen girl is about to walk over, hand them that flower, and press that button. And goes that tank. That's on the top of my YouTube channel. So anybody want to click that and go take a look? That's why that's there. All hail her name, this fictional character drawn picture. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what Irwin's about. That's what Fly is about. That's what this is about. That's what even Aaron sacrificing himself in life. Trash, but get the point. That's why he's viewed by certain people as the hero. Like, those are willing to do that, make the greatest warriors, and they make the greatest sacrifices, and they make the greatest story, the greatest myth, the thing to follow, the thing to inspire. You're willing to do this, that, and the other thing. Yet this 14-year-old girl walked over there and blew herself up. You get what I'm saying? Imagine
Facts.
a grown man in her reality who doesn't want to pull a trick or something or anything. Like, he doesn't even want to preach, like, and then somebody else being like, yeah, you Sasha? Yeah, look what she just did. Like think that way. And that is how you can convince people. That's how I was convinced by Aaron. He's like, you telling us we got to run to our deaths? And he's like, you mean other comrades fell before us? Yes, nigga. Like, duh. That's what we do. Do you want to win or do you want to lose? Pick one. Because you're going to anyway. You're going to die anyway. And if you don't, then you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Speaking on this promortalism talk, a lot of, when it comes to voluntaristic promortalism, people will take themselves out. Same thing with human extinctionism. Whereas when it comes to the compulsory promortalism, it's all about all sentient life. It goes beyond humans, again, because we are reading it from the bottom up. So we are going upwards, going up in scale, down in scale. You go up to this step beyond human extinction, all sentient life, only humans. Dogs are never kill themselves. Flies, viruses, bacteria, anything that is sentient on any level, for the most part, is going to always choose to survive. The only beings on this planet that we know of to carry out like a world effect, humans, just like the movie Infinity with the egg, where he was going to unleash the egg and it was going to kill all sentient life on the planet. Go look up that called Infinity, Wahlberg, and look at the so-called bad guy, the antagonist, and what his plan was. That is promortalism. That movie, that guy is a perfect promortalist who can get it done all himself. We can't do that, but we should still be promoting it, preaching it, learning, understanding it, and doing whatever we can at our level. You get what I'm saying?
Facts. And shout out to LD the Misanthrope, because that guy is awesome. I wish he would join the channel at some point. But that guy's channel by itself. If you haven't looked at his channel, LD Misanthrope, I mean, that he is. I love how blunt he is. Like, he just is just straightforward. Like, people need to just fucking drop dead, like, in mass numbers, because what's really happening here on this planet is like nothing. It's like humanity is stuck in the same treadmill of survival and slavery, and it's just going to be passed down for generation to generation to generation. You're going to create more slaves, more graves, more work soldiers, more diseased corpses, all this shit, and for no reason other than just because we could, because we didn't think about it. It's like, come on, like, it's got to be another way, and the only way is to put an end to the shit, like, to wrap it up. And the people at the top, they know that, which is why they want to keep it going, because for them, this is their heaven, this is their domain, this is where they get to rule and play little lords, making the rules over 99% of the population, while they sit in their castles and their mansions, sipping champagne and wine, while the rest of the world is literally fucking flailing and withering away, wage slaves, being servants. Meanwhile, they reap the benefits. So it's like, when you see that, and it's been that way throughout history. I mean, even the medieval times, it's been that way. You had counts and countesses who were fucking over the peasants. I mean, the same shit, different story. So it's like, it's been enough. It's been enough, and it's like, you got to figure out a way to wrap this shit up. And it's not going to be voluntary. I mean, like Shangael said, no species has ever voluntarily exterminated itself. It has never happened that way because it will never be a consensus agreement to do it. I mean, you can make all the points as to why it's logical, and they might even agree with that, but on massive scale, they're not going to do it. So at some point, it's going to have to be compulsory, because compulsory is what's happening right now. We are being compelled right now to keep doing this shit, even though we don't want to. We are being compelled to. We are being compulsed to. We are being lorded over by people who want this to continue as long as possible. So it's just a battle of wills, and somebody's will is going to have to win, and so it's a fight. But that's just how it is. It's not going to be we're going to ask nicely, because they're not asking nicely, and it's not a one-way street. I mean, they'll be like, oh, well, you're talking about violence, you're talking about violence. Well, the state does violence every single day. Every day the state does violence against everybody. I mean, they threaten you for jail if you don't pay your taxes. They threaten you with jail if you don't obey their arbitrary rules. They threaten you with jail or death if you don't obey whatever ordinances that they give you. And then they give their soldiers, their henchmen, absolute authority over you, because they have badges or they have degrees, and they get to determine your life for you. That is violence. That's violence because you're not being able to live your own will. They are coercing your will. So, I mean, it goes both ways at the end of the day. So it's not just, oh, we're talking violence. No, existence is violence. That's the best way I can sum it up. Existence is violence. Period.
It literally is violence. It is force. It is compulsion. My little brother was talking the other day. He was kind of arguing. He couldn't understand the idea of not bringing to the world because you can't get their consent. And I said, well, if you get a woman's consent for sex, would you have sex with her anyway? He's no.
Right.
So why would you do that to a child? Well, I mean, it's not the same. I go, I know it's not. Bringing someone into life is worse than rape.
Facts.
It brings the opportunity such thereof for that to happen.
Literally.
And for them to
Pandora's
become.
box open.
Literally. As bad as rape is, it's one of the most heinous, if not the most seen crime on the planet. Bringing someone here is far fucking worse, because first off, even the victim couldn't be raped if they weren't here. Like, that's step one. Like, we ended up at kind of an agreement where we brought up against Life 1000 and the assisted suicide, euthanasia. And I remember saying, well, look, I'll go as far as this. If you, because they're not going to listen to us, they're going to do it anyway. Even those of us who have that idea can still fuck up. I did. So I'm like, what should happen at a bare minimum, political about this and lawful and all this, non-compulsory shit, right? So if you're going to be compulsory to bring people here without being able to get their consent, then every year they should be going through some sort of psychological, sociological, therapeutic, and health evaluation where you choose from maybe 12 years old on. Because I think at 12, you can scientifically determine whether someone is capable of fully understanding their decision-making process, and you can determine whether they are capable of making a decision. If they are,
Absolutely.
if they are level intellectually where they're capable of making the decision, you give them the option of euthanasia. You shouldn't be compulsory forcing people to stay here just because you force them to come here. And we did that conclusion. He was like, you know what? I like that. He's like, it is their life. They should be able to choose to end it. He didn't understand, because he was like, well, why don't they? I was like, nigga, do you know how hard that is? Like,
Exactly.
have a whole argument. But it got to the point where he was able to see, you know what? Okay, I may not be for people not having kids or forcing them to not have kids or anything, but I am for, I agree that there should be a scientific process that determines whether someone is capable of making decisions for themselves. And if they are, they should have the right to choose whether they want to get euthanasia or not. Maybe the 3-month period after, it's like, okay, you made the choice to, if you still feel that way 180 days from now, get your euthanasia on day 180, some shit like that. You know, like,
Right.
That way they can actually peacefully, gracefully leave this plane that they never asked into to begin with. But guess what? That's not a thing. That doesn't exist. It almost certainly never will. Why this shit is compulsory, and all is compulsory is violence.
And this is why I
Exactly.
don't want to hear niggas talk shit. I don't want to hear anything on the opposing end because my boy Shangael, what was that stream you had? It was like FA fucking FO. What does that stand for?
Fuck around and find out. AFO, fuck around and find out.
Fuck around and find out. But there was, to your point, and Marc mentioned it, the violence and how this is all that. And so people are so, this whole talk, because this is a whole, again, the duality, mind and matter, the physical body, then you have the spirit, or, you know, the mental self, right? There's a, you know, two versions of self, right? What side are you really on? You know, and we should be in that inner self, that nothing quote unquote ish in a sense, because again, hypocritical people are that. If you are promoting this physical shit, you are gonna say some hypocritical shit, because like Marc said, my boy Shangael already mentioned that other stream. Check it out on his channel, FA fuck around and find out, FL. Hypocritical. How is it that you know this is backed up by violence? And so if a nigga does violence against it, you better not say some shit. You better not say some shit, because this is that. And that's why it doesn't matter what scale you talk about, man. We can talk about it on the what is it? We don't know what the, again, I mentioned the name again. And a guy where bark his head ass, shout out, rest in you know, people can look at that and be like, oh, so violent. No, you put somebody here to die. What worse? You know, fucking we eat and shit, man. What are we talking about, man? So if someone knows all this and they're trying to come from the other angle, and they're saying, yo, we don't need to do this, man. Stop this shit. Stop. Like, leave the fucking unborn alone, man. That's all this talk is. So, like, what? So, again, hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. When people like to try to maintain this and they like to say some shit, no. You better not. Anyone that's listening to, you better not let somebody say some hot shit like that or whatever from the other side. You better come with this type of black flame fucking back. Because what the fuck, man? There's nothing that these niggas can say. And so if you can't have a reason to say anything against what the fuck we're talking about, then what the fuck what is this? What is any of this, man? So burn it all down, man. This shit, this again, it's all just concepts. And once you know mentally, man, again, mind over matter, man. Fuck the material, matter, mother, man. This shit gotta go, man. That's why, again, shout out to the females, because like, they hold the value. They are the portals here. And so for any one of the, specifically that, like, obviously us men, like, it doesn't matter how much we might want a fucking son or daughter, you know, if they're not fucking vibing with this, then this shit technically, theoretically, again, if we're talking concepts a lot, is over, you know? So like, man, this, I can't stand the hypocrisy. I get it. Like, I try to be authentic. Like, I'm say terms like veganism. I'm not perfect. None of us is perfect, but like, again, with just talking and your mentality, you're not even technically doing anything, but that's still powerful in and of itself, with your mentality and the subconscious and even consciously how you think and can talk to people, like all that. And so when I see people that, again, are contradicting themselves like that, I'm like, yo. And so just shout out to you, Shangael and Marc, for mentioning that, the hypocrisy with the violence concept, because this world is that, and we continue to harp on that. And everyone here knows that we're preaching, like, we get it. But like, remember that, guys, because this point right here is like everything. Knowing that, like, yo, like, they have no ammo. They have no ammo. All of what they're coming from is bullshit. And this point right here with the violence is such a focal point, because they again, with the morality, ooh, what are you doing? What are you talking? No, what are you doing? What really, man?
Exactly. It's
every
like
they have is feelings based, and I my little brother with the logic, because when that's why the way I did it, where I said, oh, if you can't get the woman to have sex with her because she's in a coma, let's say, would you do it? If you can't get a child's consent to this world, would you do it? Well, that's different. No, you're making it different. The logic is exactly, you have to jump through a loophole and make an excuse based on how you feel about life. The logic is the logic. You can't get somebody's consent for. That's the logic. You start saying, well, unless it's this thing over here, that's when you start to choose, violate people's ability to consent for something based upon what you want, what you now think is right or feel right, instead of following the basic logic. 1 + 1 = 2, period. That's the logic. There's no two ways around it. You have to jump through some sort of logical loop to suddenly make it okay, or you are appealing to biology. Well, you are supposed to have babies. Yeah, that's biology, that's DNA. We already went over that. Yeah, blah blah. But you can think beyond. Are you not a conscious being? You're just a fucking monkey. Like, this is why we go down these paths. Like, don't just be a monkey and ignore the logic. Means go be an unconscious.
And see, you got to see this logic shit. Obviously, very important. That's the sword. That's the battle. We talking now. Back and forth, opposing viewpoint. That's the battle with the logic. But it starts with the feeling, right? Why are we being, the why? Why are we being logical, right? Because we know we're sentient. You know what I'm saying? And so we know the bullshit that we're currently going through, right? So it starts with that technical feminine type shit. Again, feeling like we know what we're talking. And so why? Put that on somebody, man. I mean, like, no. And so when they come from that angle, like they're trying to talk about like, oh, they care about feeling, or no, we're the real ones caring about the feeling people here, man.
Right.
And so, man, they just there's nothing, man. That's what I mean. Like this whole, once I came to this mentality, man, like everything else, there used to be a time where I used to talk about politics and like ISIS and like, oh, ISIS was created by the US, and like you go on a back and forth with people and you're talking about something like is above you, like I'm not in like the government, like I'm not the president, I didn't orchestrate. I'm talking about what other niggas did. And it's kind of like sports, you know what I mean? When people go, oh, LeBron James is the best, or like, what do I have to do with that? Nothing. Like, let me talk about something that I actually have like an affiliation really towards. And like this conversation is that. What side are you on? What are you doing with your life type shit? And we know what most people are fucking doing. And we know the bullshit, the hypocrisy, the contradictory with their logic. Because again, it goes back to the feeling. No one wants to have to die. Like, say less. You don't want to have to die. Like, that's what I had that one death video. If niggas lived out their whole life, they wouldn't put somebody here, man. People put people here when they're in the most prime type shit. They're fucking all fucking whatever. They're super rational. They're, really fucking mobile and shit. It's all deception. They're all in this fucking, what is it? Maya, fucking, that spinning fucking wheel and shit. And so it's just, I cannot I fucking hate people, bro. I'm sorry.
Dude,
man. I can't deal with people, man.
It's so easy to, right? They make it so easy to hate the fucking guts, don't it? It's like it's so easy to hate them because it's like they don't even try to understand. It's like you make these arguments and then they always fire back with the same typical shit. Well, that's just nature. Yeah, nature's stupid as fuck. Like, does that mean that we should all be stupid as fuck just because nature is? Like, we have we have reason, we have cognitive processes. We can think, we can determine things. We can say this is good, this is not good, this is what's beneficial, this is what's not beneficial, and we can make these arguments, but it goes back to the whole thing of a status that I made some time ago where I said, people birth babies into hell and are surprised when they get demons. It's like, what did you expect to happen? Everybody that society hates, just think about that for a second. Every type of person that society has ever hated, guess what? The society is the one that created those people. Society is the one that birthed those people. Every rapist, every pedophile, every politician, every judge, every corrupt cop, every murderer, every thief. Guess what? These were somebody's sweet little babies who were so innocent. They were, oh, his mother held him in her arms and she was so great. And guess what? They turned out to be exactly what you said you hated in society. But did that stop you from making more babies? No, because guess what? You thought it would never be your baby that would do it. But guess what? It is. Like, life is a monster making machine. And so don't complain when you keep making babies and they turn into monsters. You did it. You are the ones orchestrating that because you're not thinking. You're not trying to stop it. So don't complain and say this is violent when you are the ones creating literal violence by bringing them here to become that in the first place. Every rapist, every pedophile, every murderer is the exact same as their victim in terms of that they were brought here unconscious through their parents, selfish acts, etc. So they too are a product of this. And so that in of itself is violence. Birth is violence. Procreation is violence. And so there is no innocent hands here. What it comes down to is who's violent for what reason. You see what I mean? It's like, that's just what it comes down to. What reasons are we going to be violent for? That's it.
Because what's worse is those same monsters that birthed here end up running your societies because you're willing to do that violence with no remorse. While the people who hate those monsters, the Epstein files came out to more of them, 3 million of them, 3 million Epstein files. Think about how, like, why is there that many files to begin? Because the people who rule your world are fucking horrible creatures. Why? Because we just keep this going. Not only do we keep this shit going with humans being born, but we keep the societies going, the civilizations going, their power structures going, their families going, their bloodlines going in particular. Like, okay, I can understand monkeys being like, we can't kill all the, we are the monkeys. Can we at least kill those monkeys at a bare fucking them? Can we kill those monkeys? And whenever one of those monkeys comes, can we kill that one too? Like, you can't even get these people to agree to that type of shit. They're like, no, this is just, it's just wrong, blah, 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 blah. And then there's ones who are like, well, you know what? I would support them being overthrown, be put in prison. Don't you understand that's part of their fucking system? Like, we love to perpetuate this shit, but then as soon as somebody's like, you know what? I'm gonna go shoot. Whoa, you're evil. They have entire military gunning people down right now, just sources that you're using in your phone, oil that you put in your car, the gasoline that goes in your car, the electricity. This is based on, like, if you really on the entire system around you as an individual, do you know how much violence goes into just keeping your dumbass alive? Like, like, there is, this whole shit is violence. Nature is violence. Everything's eating everything. Did you eat this week? Like, did you drink any milk? Well, that cow is going to die one day, and they're injecting it with all sorts of shit. Like, it's not living the best life. And even if it's cold, it's still being raised to be slaughtered. Like, and your children, even if they have the best possible life, they're all going to die one day. And if they don't, that's worse. So I understand that it doesn't matter like life anyone lives here. Promortalism is still the fucking answer for all sentient beings' existence, because they all cause suffering and they all endure suffering, including pedophile who's in the fucking Epstein files. If it's never brought him here to begin with, we wouldn't have these fucking issues. Like,
yeah, would you say, you know, that whole Ephelism thing, would you say that this is what that is here too? Is that akin to this term?
Yes. Well, it kind of depends on how you look at Ephelism. Speak to Ephilists, especially modern Ephilists. I mean, you can look up the definition and it kind of is, this is all evil. But then this all needs to go aspect. And I feel like Ephilists kind of do that, where there's part of like the nihilistic Ephilists where they're like, it's all evil and it will always be evil and there's nothing you can do. And then there's the other side of Ephilism, where it's like, yes, evil, it does need to go and we can't get rid of it. So it kind of depends on which side of that you look at. Again, I also think that might just argument between voluntarism and compulsory. There's voluntaristic people who don't cause suffering. Ephilism is about causing as little suffering as possible, right? I feel like promortalism is like the anti-ephilism. That's how I see it. Ephilism is the acknowledgement that everything's and causes suffering, and is going to do that as long as there is existence. So you kind of to low level of suffering you call and endure. Whereas promortalism is like, yeah, that's not realistic. Like as Ephilism says, as long as there is existence, things will suffer, suffering, no matter how hard they try to lower it. And only certain beings, certain empathy, are even going to try to do that at all. Most beings don't give a fuck. Like, because again, it focuses on sentient life. Not just humans, but like, don't give a fuck if the zebra's in pain when it's eating the fucking lion. You know what I'm saying? They don't care. Like, they're hungry, like, to eat. You know, so promortalism is like, look, promortalism is correct, and all needs to end, even if it's completely, everything needs to die, and any beings with a sentient level that is capable of carrying that should be about that action. At least from my viewpoint, I see it. Based on my experience with it, the definitions of the words, the etymology, and just my experience with promortalists, and that's how I see it.
And I wanted to also mention, I don't know, there was a prior kind of, when we were talking about this here right now, and, you know, I don't know, and I forgot to mention this point from the prior talk I had to the center daughter I never had, you're welcome. I mentioned this before just recently, not long ago, to Shangael and Marc. that, I grew up. I'm an ambidextrous. I eat with my left hand. I write with my right hand. I shoot a basketball with my left, but I throw a football. But like because I eat with my left hand, being around family and all that shit, it's not like I don't want to say appropriate, but it's not is looked down upon, right? And it's just funny, seeing what I'm doing right now because the connotation is like a demonic or some shit. I don't. It's evil. It's just bad vibes. Anything left, the
Yeah.
left hand path
path.
type exactly. And so I just
Yes.
it's funny just seeing where I'm at now. You know what I mean? And what was it? Clairvoyant. He was like, "In hell, you will inevitably grow horns." And that goes for anyone. But it's like, it's just funny, like the inverse principle effect and seeing how they're really the ones that are the devils, you know what I mean? And we're just, look at what we're doing. And clearly, yeah, to their perspective, I get what they're talking about. But it's just funny how things connect, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to mention that here because I didn't mention that from the past. Because think about that, putting your son or daughter and you can't even fucking eat, and niggas are looking at you with some fucking sideways, like who the fuck is this eating with your left hand type shit. Um, but yeah, I think we can get on to the
What's
next
funny
one for
is
number
they made
number
you.
6. What was that?
Talking about you eating left-handed. You only exist and eat left-handed because it birthed your ass.
Exactly.
But they got a
Exactly.
problem. You're gonna eat, my nigga. Here, whatever I'm gonna do, you should be. You should have never be here.
Yes, I love that.
That's why I tell my bro. Once I was like 14, and I had a full grasp of this, and I felt super fucked up. I had to apologize for bringing them here, and then I said, "Nigga, do whatever you want." And any I can support you, I will support you. Obviously, I don't fuck with society, so there's certain financial obligations that I'm just not gonna be there for, my nigga. But we can go be homeless together. I'll rob everyone for you. I swear to God, I'll rob the fucking whole world for this nigga. I'm like, so if you ever actually need me on that, let me know, and Daddy will go to jail for your ass, some shit for you. Like, it is what it is. But I brought you here. How dare I any issue, anything you do, whatever you do, even if I disagree with you, nigga, you do, and don't you dare let me ever tell you otherwise, because I never brought you here. I'm gonna have a problem with something you did, and no parent should have.
It's still, ooh boy, that was bad right there. It's okay.
Yeah, it was. It
That's all
totally
right.
stopped the screen.
It literally, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But we can get to the next one. For number 6, it was steer conscious existence. Basically, that if consciousness can like look to influence outcomes, we can look to use it, to reduce the structure, the order of the world, to just increase the instability, increase the entropy type shit is what I got with my boy Shangael with the prior video he had with anti-cosmic voidism part 3 for this next point number 6 with steer conscious existence. And we know that again, mind over matter. We always say these simple phrases. So it's just honing in on that point. We know, like, again, the mentality is the mind is what first is driving this shit. That's why we always mention the term like the subconscious. Everyone knows this. I'm just talking to it. So it's just honing in for this next point. Again, like how can we then use our mind to, reduce the maintenance that's trying to so upkeep it, for this current structure that we find ourselves in. You guys can go ahead for any other you want to say here.
With the steering
Let
of
me
the
just,
conscious. Oh, go ahead.
or it goes out again. Let me try. And then Marcus, steering conscious is specifically about trying to manipulate all consciousnesses in reality direction you want them to go for the out seeking. You can do that at any level. You do that times. If it's ineffective, then go down to Promortalism and just say, get rid of all consciousness then. Like, because if we use the consciousness that's here to either give us our fucking existence or towards any existence as we do steer business in that direction, then that's what. But if that is not effective as we want it to be, that's what down to Promortalism and just say, as well just get rid of it altogether. Like, if that's not working, just end all these beings because I'm doing what the fuck needs to be anyway. So that's how I think. Go ahead, Marcus.
So you're right. So you were saying essentially it would just be like steering the consciousness of the people toward whatever goal that we wanted to. Instead, if we can't get it to the point of pro-mortalism, then we just stir them in the direction. Okay, I get that, because and that happens a lot of ways to um through
Well,
speech, through
the other way around. You steer the consciousness, and if you can't steer the consciousness, then you go to Promortalism. You get rid of it.
okay.
Yeah, because it's like, well, if even though well, we don't want to hear that. So let's, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's not useful, if that solution is not useful, on to the next one, which is getting rid of that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And that makes a lot of sense. Did it freeze up there too?
No,
I hear
think
you.
we're good.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that makes a lot more sense too, because even subconsciously, and that's why I like to use my art as well. Like when I start to upload pieces of my art, I think that helps in terms of getting the message across through the subconscious mind, because I think images inform the subconscious and they go straight to it. And while they might not understand what they're looking at, the message went straight there. And so that's already helping to shift and stir that particular consciousness in them toward a certain action. And I see it all the time. Sometimes they'll even comment and say exactly what what the drawing means. I'm like, oh, you got it. I didn't even have to explain it to you. You knew it when you saw it. So it's like it's already happening. And I think that we can definitely do that. We can stir the consciousness of the people in different ways, through speech, through visuals, through just getting our opinion and our thoughts out there. And so all this adds up. It's like you said, Shangael. It's like a what was the word you used for it? It was such a perfect description. Um, fuck. What was it that you said? It was like a not a spectrum, but essentially spectrum, like where you're stacking things up toward that ultimate end goal, like just stacking it up.
I know I talked about the ladder,
Yeah,
every step, the shit like on top of each other. So instead of just doing one solution, you're doing basically all of them simultaneously to the
right.
best. I remember the word you're thinking of. I know what you're talking. Just can't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah. Yeah, but that's the point I wanted to make. Like all this adds up to that anyway. So it's like whatever we can do is what we should do. And that's why I do like how this is formatted, because if we can't do that one thing, then go to the next thing. And if we can't do that next thing, then go to the next one after that. So it makes sense to go as much as we can until we hit the brick wall, but at least make sure we actually get to the brick wall first before we just, say, oh, we can't do anything else. So might as well just keep, and like you said in our chat, we have to keep pressing forward, because what else are we doing? I mean, that's like, there's nothing else worth doing, so we might as well just keep doing this, because I mean, the struggle is still on. As long as there is existence, there is going to be struggle. So long as we're here, we might as well keep struggling toward that end goal that we want to have, because what else are we doing?
That part. And like you were mentioning with the subconscious, because we say, this term steer conscious existence. Um, but in part with this, like you were mentioning with this, like we're trying to do something where it's like, how can we get niggas whether they like it or not? You know what I'm saying? And that's that subconscious element. And how do you do it? Like you mentioned with the symbols, shout out to Brother Panic. There's like 3 elements for how you can really hit that subconscious. You got symbols, the trauma, and the repetition. And so when you look at the symbols, it should enact a certain trauma. When you look at
Mm.
Marc, you go to, niggas following me. I know you probably following Marc, so you saw already the artwork. It should, when you see a dragon or you see a skull or you see certain things, it should enact a certain thing in your mind, like again, a trauma. You know what I mean? Because that
Mm.
that is part is you here for those different elements that it's correlating to. And so in terms of that, that symbol and then the repetition, just we've been harping, keep moving forward, keep doing something. Each time that we do, I get more energy. I get built up more, from these different talks and just doing anything. You know what I mean? Every day to some degree, of this type of mentality. It's just again, with the repetition, it's adding in. It's just intensifying this entropy within every one of us, and it's further permeating across the collective unconsciousness or consciousness that you want to say of the entirety of people here. So yeah, that subconscious is it, because again, I'm always, with all of us here, is how can we get niggas whether they like it or not? Whether you like it or not, we always mentioned before, the entropy is coming. You feel it, it's coming. And so that subconscious with the steering, that's really, because all these terms, unconscious, it's all like literal subsets. There's a conscious to the unconscious. There's a conscious to the subconscious. It's just different tiers. There's different branches of everything. It's not just unconscious, subconscious, and like there's literally subsets and branches off. You know what I mean? Technically, the unconscious is more conscious than us. You know what I mean? Like you can fucking, if you dreaming some shit, you probably doing some hotter shit there than you doing over. You know what I'm saying? So it's really the conscious that's more devolved and fabricated and just fucked up. You know what I mean? And so hitting to something that's more potent in every one of us is getting more into that other source of things, which is that left-hand path. It's the reversal to this shit. And so this is an important part, hitting into how we can get people in their mentality of things. And again, it starts with the unseen, with that subconscious, which will lead further into that conscious. It's like you were mentioning, Shangael. That was appreciate you for mentioning that, because it kind of drove me to like try to kind of mention certain things again with my parents. Because when you're talking about your mom and how she was like, yeah, man, we got to destroy this shit. That's significant. That your mom put you here, and now she's come to that point. Now she's like,
Right.
that is monumental, man. Your mom, bro, the portal to you here is now reversing it. Her like, man. So like, yeah, man, just that's the steering, and we can all do that, because it's all hard. I swear to God, like if you just gotta know how to certain kind of lingo it, you gotta kind of cater to somebody to know how it can hit them. You know what I mean? That's how we're talking about. How can you hit them with a subconscious? How can you just cater it to them? It's like an algorithm. How can you, it's like Battleship, where can I hit them? That's gonna really then stick.
Brainwashing.
So yeah, that's steering the consciousness. So yeah, shout out for this point here.
I look at it, this is like, whether we like it or not, we kind of got to brainwash people, because they're brainwashed. The world brainwashes them. Their DNA brainwashes them. Their society, their civilization, their government, their schools, their churches, everything is attempting to brainwash them to keep this shit forward. The only way to get it to
Did you
the up.
I did hear that.
Whoa, what the fuck?
That
What
was
just
wild.
It was like, I was like, what the?
Like,
Yo, they trying to fuck with us, bro. Yeah, keep going.
They
Shane.
try.
I'm sorry.
They try. I'm glad they see that, because you see that, you know why.
They trying to share our consciousness with that shit. What the fuck was that?
Yeah. They are terrified of us steering any businesses from the people and anyone who will see this later on. You know what we're saying is true, but they try to with every fucking day. I'm surprised they have to like shoot me yet. But as long as they can do it, they're gonna do. Like I just saw that shit as both of our screens had arrows on them for a second. It's wild, and I've never seen your screen fuck up on any of your streams. We stream together, then they're like, "Oh shit, we gotta fuck this shit up." But
right,
we know we are. That's the word. That's why they use. They're radicalizing people. Yes, we are making them more radical. Look up what the word means, understand it, and be like, "Oh wait, we should be radical. Like we should the radical reality." Like this society is radical.
it is
radical. Is radical. The elites are radical. The modern radical. All this shit is radical. All these wars that they fight for their shit are radical. They radicalize people, make them part of their militaries and police forces, and have them promote and force their brainwashing of violence. But then when you go the opposite with a far less level of violence, less capability to eat the violence that they do with nuclear bombs, all this shit, all of a sudden the radical one. I'm radical.
Exactly.
Because built nuclear. I'm radical. You have an entire military. I'm radical. Police, body, secret services. I'm radical. You have intelligence agencies, banking systems, financial systems, monetary taxation. I'm radical. Like, it's mind-boggling. This is what it is. You're fighting brainwash with brainwash.
Yes.
Why with Marcus and his art, and I'm always yelling, glad to see it on YouTube. Nigga, put that everywhere. That needs to be everywhere you are, because it goes straight to the subconscious. It hits people,
Yeah.
whether they want it to or not. They see it, it plugs in. They might fight it consciously, and they might even have this feeling like if you show a certain Christian or artwork, they might have an instant feeling. Like,
Oh, dude, every
go ahead.
time.
Have you
Every
had this?
time. It's like every time they see my artwork, I always get the same response. It's like, oh my God, that is so demonic. Look at all those skulls. And the first thing I'm like, well, don't you have a skull? Like, you have one underneath that face of yours. You know what I mean? Like, you mean to tell me
You have,
skulls are demonic? Are you serious?
look at all these bones. You ain't never ate off the bone before? Like, you ain't
Right.
never, you don't have bones in your body? Like, you know, like, it's wild, but this is what you have, because that is brainwashed for her to fear bones.
Dude.
You know, is afraid of bones. Like, they're not walking around scaffolding of bones.
Exactly.
Skeleton. This is what we have to do when it comes to consciousness. We got to be learning to brainwash ourselves. When we started this, what was I listening to? That same video I told everyone to look up, right? Flock is Erwin. While I was sitting in the room, because I'm never early, I'm late one. I was sitting here for 15 minutes waiting on y'all, and I played, and it's only a minute. I played it over. I can hear the music in my head right now. Oh, dun, 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 dun. Like, I can literally playing over and over. The brain, the air is falling. I just keep hearing it.
Man, they trying
own.
it, man. Man, they really, man.
It's doing a piece of work with this.
I appreciate everybody though, because that's just everybody here that's been like, nah, I'm still gonna keep listening to these niggas, man. Shout out to any, you know what I'm saying? They all still they here listening to shit, despite whatever type of shit they trying to impose to my boy Shangael. Now they said like, nah, I gotta listen to these niggas talk, man. Shout out to every one of you and whoever else that's still here, that's on the other side, whatever, that's trying to, you know, fuck you, but you here too, is, you know, like, man, yeah, there's some hot shit. You know, I was looking up on Twitter. I was trying to find out. There's this one person on X, Twitter, whatever the fuck, that I really think is an interesting person, and they were mentioning a certain thing about, you know, something about this current time, you know, this current time of the year or whatever, current transit or whatever, that it's influencing cultism. You know, it's influencing this, again, group mentality of things or type shit. I was trying to find a particular tweet, but it was, again, it was like, oh, just watch out, because like this current time that we're in with the current year and type shit, like there's going to be more cults coming up. And you know, yeah, I was like that's interesting, because I mentioned that I think the last talk that I was told that by somebody in my real life, that like, are you building a cult or some shit? I'm like, oh my God, these motherfuckers are so dumb. But again, like Shangael said, why, and all this bullshit. Like, this all is that already. Like, what are these concepts about, man? But I just wanted to mention that because I just thought that was funny, because we've been like really, you know, just talking. We're literally just talking, you know what I mean? Anyone that feels compelled to just, you know what I mean? So when I saw that and I see what I'm doing, I'm like, are these niggas talking about me too? Like, yeah, we're just like, you know, we're literally not doing anything, first off, you know. But I was trying to find that but I just wanted to mention that real quick too, just so there was a little bit of a break. But go ahead, Shangael. You can try to see how it is right now.
If somebody asked me that question, I'm yep. You're trying to build a cult, yes, a cult of truth. I'm trying to build a cult of anti-cosmic voidism, where we are a cult to nothing. We worship nothing. We praise nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, we a cult of nothing. This is why when Eric died, his server as the cult of Aaron A. I didn't change it. I was like, because we are a cult to Aaron A, and all like him. Understand? Like, do you get like?
Yes.
Because we're a cult to ourselves. Like anyone who's coming in here, cult to themselves and what their agenda is. We're not worshiping some external figure that we are going to fucking put on some pedestal and praise. And no. I think anyone and everyone and everything that is pushing in action. What are we talking? We praise fictional characters, for crying out loud. Erwin, Flock, and not even for their whole being, because Flock was pushing for the Eldians to survive and have their own nation. Are we named people? No. Are we statists? No. But it's the heart, it's the mind, and it's the soul and the spirit at which he did his actions based on his belief systems that we're celebrating. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're a cult to that. like we're a cult to truth, honesty.
I'm gonna say something.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I'm sorry to cut you there, Shangael. Go ahead. You know, I just, like you said all the time, peep the mythos and everything. You know, I remember I had a certain video, and I might put it up again sometime. You know, someone called me a schizo. It's like, why are you putting this shit, man? Antinatalism is simple, man. Why are you making all this metaphysical shit, man? Just keep it simple. Why are you sounding like a schizo or some shit? I'm like, all right, nigga, whatever. But again, it's more than what me. So I just found everything fascinating. I'm just like, I look at everything. There's a synchronicity, you know, because my boy Marc, you know, Mark of the Beast. You know what I'm saying? But like everything is like, what the fuck does that mean? You're the mark of the beast. All this is that. The sentient body. 666, we already know it's just a human flesh, fucking carbon type shit. You know what I mean? Like, well, what the fuck? And then we got my boy Shangael here. You know what I mean? And I feel like with you, I don't know. Thunder. I don't know. I just think of Thor type shit. Jupiter Thor. You know, like you're like a spiritual guru type shit coming out, giving all these lessons. You know what I'm saying? So the thunder, Shangael thunder. You know what I mean? Like there's so much etymology, mythology behind you. And then here I am, I guess, with the illicit mind, forbidden knowledge. You know, illicit is like, you know, forbidden. You know, and so it's like we're just three. You know, because there's this one person, Spooky. He was like the four horses of the apocalypse. It was like there's only three of us right now. Who's gonna be the fourth one on the tribe? You know, we got our boy Mason, T Sizzle, and everybody, anyone that's here, you know, we're all the same, you know. But I just, because again, like I mentioned it on the other talk that we had together. We mentioned the day that the beginning of the new year, I had a talk with Shangael. And I was like, yo, the same day that we did that talk, fucking that Mount Etna shit, man. And then we play my boy Ani in that clip. You can go ahead and go back. That's why I do the timestamp. It's peep the mythos reality. I put a little icon swirl to it. And if you know what I'm saying, we are that, man. Like, so it's too syncretized, man. It is too, and so it's just like, we know, yeah, there's like not even 1% of us and shit, fucking a 0.001% of us. But again, like the minute controls everything. We know that with like fucking government and shit, the fucking hierarchy, the Ponzi scheme, the higher up you go, it's less people, but they have more power. Interesting. And it's the same fucking principle here, man. And it's not just us. Any one of us, man. Even for the niggas that are like anti-natalists or what, it's all the same. It's just how high up can you go? That's what I mean with like these terms. Don't just get caught up in a certain term. How high up of a term can you really conceptualize and stay on that? You can still be like, because I still say to niggas like, yeah, I'm an anti-natalist or whatever, but I said anti-cosmic voidism. Like, just always say some hotter shit to get people to think and shit. And again, it's like once you hit them on that subconscious, because words, like we mentioned, are a form of symbol, right? And it brings up the trauma when you know what the words mean and everything. And so all this is hitting the subconscious, and because you got to think, man. I first start I used to have a second. I used to have another YouTube channel, and then I deleted this. But then, you know, like Marc's had his channel for a while. I'm sure Shangael, you've had your, but like this is a new dynamic. You know what I mean? Every little thing now, more that we do, it's just adding more to that entropy shit. You know what I mean? And so the more that we do anything, any one of us, that's what we've been encouraging. You know, Shangael got a Discord. I'll look to, you know, be sure that's posted. Like, just continue to talk at the very least, let alone think and meditate. Everything is significant. That's what I meant before with that Ed Guy Barkus. Like, what you think about that matters. So be sure, like, you're thinking about like, okay, yeah, that's some hot shit. You know, you don't even have to say anything, but like, no, like he's on your side, and that like that it matters so much. It matters so much how we even just think. And so literally, when we're not just even thinking right now in this conversation, in this dynamic of it's just it does so much. It does so much. And so yeah, I just think it's interesting. Just that end time shit. I just feel like it's just getting more hot, and we're part of it, man. And so it's like, man, I'm just so happy, man, that I'm a part of that.
Feed the flame, man. Feed the flame, and that's exactly what we really are about. And like I told Shangael some time ago in the conversation that I was having with him, and I said, even my appearance, I use that as an influence, like because I keep myself with the symbols of death. I wear it, and it's not just a style; it's me broadcasting that message. I wear skulls, the black. All of this stuff is a symbol. It's not just because of a set or style. See, like what he's got on right there is it's that symbol, that black, that dissolution, the void, all that in one color, and it's going straight to the mind. So when you see me, when you see the black, when you see the skulls, when you see Shangael with the skulls and the black, and you see even you, the skull cap, the black skull cap. I mean, all this stuff plays into to itself, and it's like it all goes to the same thing of what we are representing. So whether we speak, whether we dress, whether we look, whether we think, whether we influence, whatever we do, is all building up to that momentum. That was the word I was looking for earlier, momentum. Because Shango talks about that a lot. It's like build up that momentum toward this, toward it, and, build it up, build it up, build it up. And so that's what we are really doing. We're just building up this keg and adding to the pressure that's going to eventually get us to where we want it to go. And it's already building up. It's turning right now. I mean, you can see it all around the world. You can see it around the world. So it's like it's already happening, the effect. And that's why they're afraid. They're trying to shut shit down because they see it, they feel it. And I truly do believe that even on a higher level, toward the people who are running this shit show, they are very much so aware of us and aware of what we're trying to do. And it's like they know and they're afraid, which is why they try to interfere so much. Which is why they came out with a whole thing of labeling people nihilistic violent extremists. I mean, come on, like the whole FBI made a whole list of people who are violent extremists. And why? Because they know we oppose them and they expect that opposition. But they are the ones opposing us and everybody who wants freedom. So tick for tat, motherfuckers. It's the same thing.
You on there, Mark. As talking, I was sitting there thinking like, the FBI made a whole new category for us. Like,
Right.
last year was my first year streaming, right? I started streaming January 1st to January 2nd, right? That came April something, the nihilistic violent, which happened to be the same month that the FBI was like sending people around. I remember when the Ronin named Sky took his life, but they sent investigators around, but I think that was from the family. But then come like a later, you got FBI knocking on people's doors. Joshua S. John, shout out to him, had some motherfuckers in a van sitting out his house, and he doesn't really talk that violent shit. He talks more about violence towards the archons and things like that.
Mhm.
They were sitting even outside his like looking at like, we know you in there. Talk. Do you know these people? Do you know these have on this list? And he's like, who the fuck are y'all? Like, but that also is confirmation for you're doing something. Like,
Facts.
take all that shit as confirmation. Like, was I the specific call terminology? Of course not. I doubt that I as an individual, but I as part of the group, absolutely. We all are, because we're all the same group that they're labeling with that label. So when I'm preaching for 4 months, they come out with that label, I smile, I laugh. I go to Chris Sidera, I don't even like AI anything, but he was making music videos, and I'm like, yo, make one of them. Like, featuring me. Like, that they make those labels because you're supposed to read them. Right? Guy Edward Barkus blew up, which is, I think, a big part of it too. And things connect. He's in the Discord server and people, he's listening to Amend Hand. He's listening to people like us. He wrote names down of people you should go listen to in his fucking manifesto. And then he goes and does that thing. And then the FBI make label, you're supposed to run. That's why they supposed to be scared now. What did I do? A music video with your AI, it's all over it. Tell them, come on, bitches. Like, that is how it's supposed to behave. When somebody says, you say, I hope you're enemy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so not only did I accept that title, even though I'm not really nihilist. I believe there are things we can do. You know, so like nihilism really does boil down. There ain't shit you can do about this. Like, oh, there's a lot of shit we can do, but I'll accept that, because if you're saying nihilistic extremists, nihilists, well, nihilistic tendencies, believe that violence can do. Okay, I'll take the title, throw me, right, and I will accept that challenge. But add fuel to that fire. I'm not going to try to douse, run from it. I'm not going to shove it away or put. That's what you're calling me? I accept it. Oh, these people are terrorists. I guess terrorists. That like, you know, like when people say that type of shit, I just, because they're saying it, try and scare you from it. They're saying it to try to get you to the title. I'm like, oh, you just made me a new title back. Thank you. I'm the heavy nihilistic violent extremist. That's my new title. I'm saying you just gave me a title. Like, and your enemy is granting you titles. They're afraid of you. They're literally, it's like having outside, you know, a gang. Say you're part of a gang, and then there's another nigga in the gang, and you call that hitter. Oh, you mean that? Like, he ain't calling that because you know he be niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like your enemy a nickname, that's a sign of respect. In Halo, they call Master Chief Demon out of respect and fear. Like, because for their tradition to go forth, they must deal with the demon or tear down their religion. You get, so when they start calling us these terminologies, I did wholeheartedly that shit. When I go outside, I walk outside like this. I walk out with this on, with this fucking robe on, and I don't care what people, you know, think about it. When they see you, I remember Chris, shout out to him, one day was saying, like, you know, the people wouldn't like. I'm like, well, and I remember he said something like, "What? That's the first thing when you see people like this."
Yeah, they really trying to, bro. They're really trying to. Let me say something real quick. My boy Untold, he live in the chat. I'm not sure who he was referring to, but that has nothing to do with horse. I will mention.
That was
what was that?
That was a chat. I was reading it. They were talking to each other.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to mention, you know, I'm sure he knows or whoever. I just wanted to mention, you know, this year, if you follow, like, what is it, Chinese astrology or whatever, it's going to be, if it's not already, it's going to be the year of the fire horse. Funny, you know, fucking all this end time. This is the year of the fire horse, right? And then just getting into my boy Shangael, right? Thunder. If you look at thunder, you think of lightning, you think of Jupiter, right? Thor, lightning, right? And if you get into the astrology, it's connecting to Sagittarius. Jupiter is ruled by it's connected with Sagittarius. And what is that connected to? It's half a horse, half a man. Interesting. And then again, when you think about all these different things, that Sagittarius, Jupiter, it's a lot of guru, it's a lot of spiritual lessons. It's a spiritual teacher. And that's what we're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? So I like connecting the dots, you know, because there's definitely a lot. My boy here, he says, 26 year of the horse. Yep, and the element is fire. And like I've been telling you guys, my boy, my Aries energy. And if you look at my astrology, you'll see I'm literally, all my imprint is on that area, on that ninth house shit. So it's all syncretized like a motherfucker. It's crazy. We're doing what we're doing, you know what I mean? In this fucking dream we call life. Said here, I know it's horse in the show. It's just that reminded me of a pot. You know, there's a connection. There's a similar symbolic at the very least. You see the similar with the symbolic, and so it's interesting. But I think we can continue on with what we got next.
Oh, real quick,
there was oh yeah, keep going.
That horse, that fire horse, family's is a Pegasus. So a Pegasus on fire. Pegasus made of family's what is the, it's not sigil or emblem, but
and Pegasus deals with the third eye. We're like literally trying to unlock niggas' third eyes right now. Shout out to Bobby.
Year. What'd you say, Marcus?
What was you saying? The crest?
Yes, that's my family crest. It is a flaming Pegasus. So, and that's the year we're going into. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the syncretism is crazy. It's crazy.
It's wild. Love it.
Let's look at number 5. We got here for number 5 is only unconscious existence. Go ahead, Shangael. You can explain, because this one I need some context, my guy.
So normally this is and I'll read it down the other way. Matter of fact, let me just go over here to the chat so I can look at the list of solutions here and see what's above it. So this is number 5. So prior to that would be existence ASAP, right? But we can't do that, meaning existence is going to exist. Then we try to maintain existence at only unconsciousness. So consciousness never unfolds. We are doing this backwards. I think at this point, we might just want to jump to 1 and go down to 5, because doing it backwards from here is harder.
Say less, say less. Let's start with number 1, get straight to it with voidism, pure nothingness. Keep going.
Number 1, because he goes 1, pure nothingness, 2, cosmic chaos, 3, no persistent existence, 4, destroy existence ASAP, and then 5, only unconscious existence, right? So at 1, voidism, pure nothingness, the goal is to bring everything to a state of nothingness, which is really a lack of all state. For lack of better terminology, when speaking of we call it a state of pure nothing, absolute nothing, where we try to rid the void of chaos itself. No potential, no possibility, no realization at all. Because if we can do that, we can get answer number 1. If I show it right here again, if we can get number 1, nothing else matters. You get what I'm saying? Like if we can get that done.
You just muted yourself, I think. I'm
Yeah, he's muted.
Am I good? Yeah, I don't remember, but maybe I did. If we can get number 1, Buddhism, pure nothingness, then everything else on the list becomes null. It doesn't exist anymore, right? So that is why that is the main goal, and why I generally start there, which is why I have 3 presentations on breaking down what that is, means, how we can actually get that done. Because if we can get that, everything else on the list literally ceases to exist and doesn't even matter. When we're going down this list, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, it's all about that first one done and into the next one. If either if it's ineffective, something that's impossible, something that isn't possible to get right away. It's what we're moving towards, which is why I do like that we started 12 and went up to 5, because from 12 to 6 is what we can do starting right here, right now. You know, so like it's what we should already be doing, all simultaneously, teaching, preaching, promoting, and in any way willing and able, carrying out any and all solutions of our ability. And any way we are unwilling, unable, promoting, preaching, promoting, and supporting anyone else that is willing to carry out anything else to the best of ability. So 12 is everything we could do here. 1, 5 is everything we're steering existence from this level. So only unconscious existence, again, has come with also from this level, promortalism. If we were able to wipe away all sentient life, all conscious life, all that exists will be unconscious. There'd be nothing to be conscious, because conscious is a state of awareness. If there is nothing aware on any level,
can you repeat that?
Is a state of being aware. If there
Hey,
is
Shangael. Hey, Shangael.
Can you hear me?
Can you repeat like the last 15 seconds you just said? You said consciousness was what again?
Consciousness is the state of being aware. So if there is something that can be aware, there is no consciousness. Without anything that can be conscious, nothing is. We try to push, again, through antinatalism, through human extinctionism, through promortalism, through these stations, steering consciousness. We're trying to steer towards an existence where there is no consciousness at a bare minimum. Because again, problems only exist because there are things there to experience the problem. If nothing existed, like for example, humans are consciously aware enough, intelligent enough, technically advanced enough that if the sun were to explode, like right, say in 5 billion years, blow up. Like humans actually intellect ability to calculate things. If the sun started going crazy tomorrow, there'd be a whole world of scientists trying to figure it out, and a whole world of people like, because they're there to experience it. But if there was no, let alone sentient life at all, the sun started to go crazy, no one there to experience it, not a problem. It doesn't matter. It's just a star doing what a star does. Like, and the planet wouldn't care. The rock that we're standing on would not rock. But life on it, especially the intelligence that can look at that and start calculating things, becomes a problem. If there is no conscious life, no life, there can be problems, let alone intelligent life that can calculate problems. Calculate them millions of years ahead of time. That sun's going to blow up one day. There are people right now actually worry about the sun blowing up in a billion fucking years. Like, they're afraid of it. Bro, I'm not saying that's the definitive date. The science could be wrong. The math could be wrong. Only know so much at the moment. Yada, yada. But the date that we have on current science, right? People are afraid of that. Like, it's only a problem because there's a conscious being there to contemplate it and make it a problem. So if we could steer existence, preferably also through nihilism, human extinctionism, towards unconscious existence, then there would be nothing here. Like Marcus said on his video, go peep it. Consciousness is. Go peep that video on Marcus's channel, and go into the comment section and read all those comments, every single one. Click newest comment, read every one from the bottom down. It's a definitive proof that consciousness is the problem. People arguing against our conscious beings, arguing with other conscious beings about what's the problem. If none of us are conscious, we couldn't even fucking argument. Like,
Exactly.
we couldn't have an argument between someone like myself saying Marcus and somebody else saying Marcus is right if we were unconscious. Like, so consciousness is a problem. It's what causes problems. If existence was unconscious, no one would care because there'd be no one to existence, wouldn't be a problem. It's really only a problem because things can exist within it. So our goal here is, through antinatalism, human extinctionism, promortalism, and steering consciousness through talk like this, to get to a state of unconscious existence by any means necessary at a bare minimum. Now go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so that just makes a lot of sense in wanting to do that, because consciousness is the aggregate. Like, it's the common denominator of why shit sucks. It's because there is something to recognize that shit sucks. If there was nothing there to recognize that, it wouldn't be a problem. So long as consciousness is in the mix, there's always going to be that aggravation. And no matter how much people want to say, oh, we can make a utopia, we could build an everlasting utopia. Number one, there's no such thing as everlasting anything in any perfect state. It's not going to work, because you're going to always constantly have to battle against things breaking down. You're going to have to battle against things wearing out. All sorts of issues, boredom, all sorts of things you have to worry about trying to sustain that type of an environment. So that's not even practical. So long as there is consciousness, there's always going to be problems that rise with consciousness, with conscious observation. So if you had a universe where there was just, let's say, just planets and stars, but no conscious beings to observe it, it wouldn't matter, because nobody would be there to observe it. Who gives a shit? It's just stars and planets. But when you introduce the concept of a conscious being able to observe those stars and planets, and then you plop them in the middle of it, and they's like, why the fuck am I here? Why am I conscious of this? Why am I aware? That's when the problem starts. And that's really just the bulk of it. I mean, like I told Shangael some time ago, I literally had a panic attack when I just was just sitting in my fucking room, and I was like, holy shit, I'm fucking here. I'm aware. What the fuck is this? I literally felt like I was about to go crazy for a second. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened. I was like, what the fuck? I'm aware. I'm alive. What the fuck? I was
Bro,
literally
I still do
losing
that
it.
every day. Looking like, there's just moments you become fully aware of your awareness.
Yes.
Like, I just be like looking around, I'm literally out of this body from a POV, like I'm in a reality game. You know, just like looking around, pinch myself, and I just touch myself in the mirror and be like, who the fuck is that? Like, why am I in this? What how does this happen? And I understand the processes. I've seen processes of how this occurred, and even I'm still like, this is insane. This is madness. This is
Truly.
bro. I fully continue.
Yeah, it's exactly the perfect word for it, madness. It's like, what rhyme or reason does this shit make? Like, just turn it off. I mean, if I could have a theme of everything, it would be just turn it the fuck off. Like, break the machine and turn it off. And don't ever turn it back on, because it's like there is no point to this. It's so fucking stupid. And I think that's another part of it that irritates me so bad, is like just the stupidity of consciousness. You ever just think about it, how dumb it is just to be observing things and doing things? For what fucking reason? It's stupid. Nothing is happening. We literally would be better off if there were literally nothing in existence anywhere to observe any of this shit, because it's stupid. It has no end game. There's no point to it beyond you being made aware of it against your will. That's another thing about it. It's like you're not even consenting to this shit. You're being dragged along to be made aware of it. Like, you didn't ask for this shit. You just plopped into it. And so that by itself is a part of the problem. It's like you're conscious and you're aware of all these issues. And so I think our to our to our advantage, at least we're able to think about how we can end this shit. At least that awareness gave us an unintended advantage of figuring out a way how to end it. So that's what I'm hoping for, because that's the only thing worth trying to do with this shit we call consciousness. Figure out how to end it.
X. And that too, number one, Voidism pure. Because again, that consciousness allows us to understand consciousness, right? What's at number 6 trying to steer towards number 5 is what gives the opportunity to realize that even number 5 doesn't go enough. We have to do number 1. Because as long as a possibility, as long as there is no chaos, there will always come number 3 of existence, number 4 and want to destroy it, can't destroy it right away. Then comes number 5 and unconscious. Like, well, at least nothing exists. If unconscious exists, potential for conscious existence is number 6. You see what I'm saying? Like, so this is why 1 is the goal, or nothingness, because if we get to that point and there isn't for anything, there's potential for conscious existence, there is no problems. There's no problems at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's literally why that's number 1, because once you get beyond all the potential for problems exist, depending on how eternal potential or realization chaos is, depends on how the fuck that's going to happen and how many opportunities for the potential for conscious existence be. Number 1 is the ultimate voidism, pure nothingness. That's what we're trying to steer everything towards, no matter how it takes. No matter what it has to take. Like a fucking hair in my mouth. No matter if we can get it done. The goal is that done ASAP. It's still there. That was mad. I hate my mouth. That shit bothers me. But we're trying to get it done. Nothingness. Complete pure nothing. No chaos in the void. That way, nothing could ever happen. Literally, nothing could happen. Once we move, are we good to move past that? I think we're good. We step into chaos now.
Unless yeah, we can get. I mean, nah, y'all niggas said enough. I mean, we talking nothing. So I mean, yeah, we can get, because this is because this it's just these elements. That's why I'm connecting to you, man. I'm trying to build myself, because I'm like, yeah, how can we get to this and maintain nothing, pure just voidism type shit. It's in terms of the human conceptualization or lack thereof, it's kind of like, I feel like that Tower of Babel type shit. We trying to like get up to at least God level and experience how the fuck did God even create to then get to the uncreate, and so it's I'm trying to learn every single day, man, because again, that
creation.
Yes.
Trying to reverse engineer creation.
Yeah, that's the reversal. Exactly. That's exactly. We are reverse engineers in this bitch. I never,
Yes.
growing up, because I'm African, you know how it is. It's like you got to be a fucking doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. And I was like, man, that engineer. I was never bad at math, but once it came to college, I was like, man, fuck that. But yeah, no, but no, I am an engineer. You know what I said with my last video from before? I was like, yo, when somebody tells you what do you do for a living, you better say some shit around this that you're an anti-cosmic voidist type, whatever type, at
Yeah.
least anti-natalist type, something hot apart from you like your everyday, mundane job. This is some hotter
Yes.
shit. This is more than what you're about than that bullshit over there. You know what I mean? So if somebody tells you what you do for a living, if you especially come into this 3 hour mark in the fucking shout out to we've had a solid 20 plus throughout pretty much you better say, that this is because they're asking, so you better let them go. And there you go with the subconscious, tap into it
That's
to
it.
them. Yeah, because I'm always gonna let niggas know that, because when I mentioned that in the past talk, I was like, yeah, I should be telling niggas that what do you do for a living? Yeah, have a whole fucking line ready, and then they're gonna be like, what the fuck? And yeah, let them be what the fuck, and they want to learn more. There you go. That's just one way.
Cosmic void of the church and God and temple of the broken God. And they'll look
Yes.
at you.
Write that shit write that shit in the chat. Write that shit in the chat. What you are saying now, write that shit in the chat so other niggas can keep the same. Even myself, I'm gonna copy that
It's
shit and put that shit in cover my notes, man. Man, like it's important, man, because niggas, I always say that term purpose, you know what I mean? Like there is nothing else that I'm doing with my life that I feel is driving me other than this shit right now. You know what I mean? Everything else is a downstream, is of a like you just kind of have to do whether you like it or not. But this is something that I am putting myself to do because I am compelled. It is complementary to my essence,
yes.
that
Yes.
true raging spirit. Yeah, it's just that true compatibility with what I'm really about. You know what I mean? Like, and so this is like
Facts.
out of my own accord. It's not something that really is imposed per se. No, I know I'm here for this shit in a certain way. You get my point?
Right.
So yeah.
It's like we're like I had a conversation about this some time ago, and that this whole thing reminded me of what I said in that conversation where I was talking to this guy who was a Bible scholar or whatever, and he's like, well, the word of God says, God said in the beginning, let there be light. And I told him, I'm trying to reverse the word of God and bring it back to nothing, to nothingness. And that threw him for a loop. Like he's like he couldn't believe what I was saying to him. Like, what do you mean you want to reverse the word of God? Exactly that. I am the reverse of the word of God. Like we are literally doing the
Yes.
opposite of the let there be light. I am God's reverse. We are reversing the word of God. That's what I'm doing. So yeah, it's like, let there be light. No, let there be darkness. Let there be nothingness. Let
And
there be
that's the true light.
formlessness.
That's my thing with like whatever way they can go. We can transmute it our way because that's the true light.
Exactly.
This is the false light. You know how niggas say don't go to
Exactly.
the light because that's the falseness. This is all false. Fucking language, man. That's why I talk with the prior bit. I haven't seen that many niggas view, and I know because typically I do the streams around this time and at the end of the week. So I knew niggas weren't gonna watch that etymology, but that's what it is. What are these words? Who put that? We have to say these words and this all this. No, human language is a lie. All this shit is a fucking lie. So when people look to promote and maintain and back up and defend this shit, you are a liar yourself, man. When people say things like a god, Elohim,
Mm, mm.
liar type shit, Loki type shit. You look at the mythology of Loki, that nigga's a deceiver in this bitch, man. This is all a test, man. That's why I be telling a little bit, like, think about it. Like, there's a certain part of you that's like, yo, this is fucked up. So, like, don't try to do as much fucked up shit, type shit. If anything, the eradication is of the annihilation to the consciousness and everything like that's like the fucking jury on this shit. Like that should be what the fuck we should be about. You know what I mean? So fuck, man. I
Facts.
mean, there's just so much to say. There is so much to say, man.
I
You
like
gotta you gotta
I am the reverse of God. Not even I'm trying to where I am versal the word of God. If
Yes.
that is the word, I am the silence. I love that's literally when you said that's what I heard. Marc is silence of like he is
That's great.
like That was fire.
Because
Yes.
um,
Because it goes back to my favorite verse in the Bible. Like people will say, "Oh, the Bible is bullshit," which it is, of course. But there is one aspect of the Bible that people's like, "Oh, well, what's your favorite verse in the Bible?" I say, "Go back to fucking Genesis. In the beginning, the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep." That's
stop that.
what that's the best verse in the Bible.
It
In the
should have stopped
beginning,
right there. The
stop
story
right
ended
there.
right there.
Exactly. Exactly. Like that's what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for that. That's as close as perfect as you can get. Without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the water. There was no earth, there was no life, just the dark, just the void, nothingness. In Hebrew, the ain, it's just the pure nothing. It's nothing there. So it's like that's as close to perfect as you can get. That's as close to what I would call heaven. The rest of that shit that comes after that, that's the fuck up. And then let there be light. That's the fuck up.
And see, that's an interesting two part. And we mentioned this in part with the whole heaven thing. Like niggas, that's what I mean. Again, I'm talking about the convention, Christian or whatever type of, Abrahamic religion. The heaven, we've been saying it, like the whole perfect, nothing is actually going on. So if you're talking about the void, when you talk about heaven, like these niggas just they don't, even I,
Yes.
at a certain point, I'm like, damn, that actually
The book,
connects to the nothing when niggas be talking about heaven. Because yeah, if you're just
Yeah.
all perfect and utopian, no, then that means like there's really nothing. It's all the same shit. So whatever way they want to twist it, no, it is twisting back to our. That's what I mean with the contradictory and the hypocrite. Man, these motherfuckers, man. You
this
got a
thing.
question here, Mark? If we can, before we, this motherfucker said, do
Well,
you think
before we
life
answer
is?
that, before
Keep
we answer
going.
that, hold on, because you're something there, bro. What you and Mark just said, if you could do two, right? That verse, there was formless and right, and we
Right.
say the true heaven. It's not Ion in Revelation. It's where God was born, right?
Mm.
So where did God live? In the void. He lived in the dark until there be light. There was none. You guys are like their own book. Start at the beginning. What is the true heaven? The place where this nigga came, which was formless and void and without.
Yes.
There was nothing, and one day there was him. Like one day, consciousness. Like what? Where am I? Even when it comes to heaven, we say there's levels of it. You could say, at
It's kind of breaking up. Keep trying though, Shangael. Keep going. I just want to let you know it's kind of breaking up, but keep going.
God concept to come into it.
Damn, I knew he gonna say some hot
Yes.
shit though. My
I
God,
know.
please. What was this boy about to say? Come on, man.
Can you hear me?
I can
Yeah,
hear
keep
you.
going, keep going, keep going.
Okay. So this character is first concept within non-conceptual reality. So that's the first level of heaven. Beyond chaos leads to that. Beyond that is the void. But up to that point of that concept character coming into existence all that bad. It's form and void. There's nothing really in it. Nothing's actually happening. There isn't even any concepts yet until it comes into existence. So heaven, bare minimum, is non-conceptual. At a max, it's literally the void, absolute nothingness. Did y'all get that?
Caught most of it toward the end there. I got the gist of what you were saying for sure.
Okay, all right. That's all that matters. Now we can go on with questions or whatever.
Alyssa, I can't hear you. Are you talking,
Yeah, I'm sorry, I
Alyssa?
forgot I was mute. Can you try to say that
Oh,
in your own words, Mark? And then from there, Shangael, of course you can hear, and then you can, approve or say anything to add on.
yeah. It's what essentially what he was saying. From my perspective of it is like the levels of that void. Um, and that's where I said where that would be as close to perfect as it could possibly be. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. There's nothing there to comprehend that. It's just the formless nothingness, the empty void. That's almost as perfect as you could possibly get it. And so then, of course, you have this God, like Shangael said, he just wakes up there. So that's his birthplace. He's in that, and he wakes up. He's like, "Oh, I'm conscious. Let me make other conscious things. And then you get the whole let there be light shit. And then the shit rolls downhill from there. It's just like a constant fuck up after fuck up after fuck up because this thing became conscious. Like consciousness, it goes back to what we were saying all the time. Consciousness is the source of all these problems, the source of every problem. The first time anything woke up in the void and said, I, already a problem. That's just how it is. It's like as soon as there was something to comprehend itself, that's when the problem started.
Go ahead, Shangael.
I said it. He said it. It's just the level. Like God is born in this non-reality, which is the closest you can get to perfection in reality. Then comes the chaos which is even, and then comes nothingness. Within reality, where God was born, the closest you get to perfection. Before that is the chaos, literally close as to perfection. It was nothing, which is actual perfection. These are the three levels of heaven. I was watching a video, I shared it in the chat too. What came before the plural, and what came before the plural basically described as everything behaving as nothing. Like non-conceptual reality is. It's is there, all the potential for what we get is there, but nothing's fucking until that first thing goes, oh, exist. And then it's all fuckery from that point forward. Prior to that, existence itself is very heavenly. Nothing's happening. But then, since it's imperfect, it's imperfection eventually. So that's as close to perfect as you get in reality. The chaos that produces that is as close to as you can get literally. And nothingness, which is action. So these are the three heaven. Starts with non-reality, where gods are born, where the A is born, where the monad comes from. Then the chaos that produces that, and then true nothing, actual perfection. So even according to their own books and their own story, heaven is not Zion. It's not what you get in the of the book. It's where God came from at the beginning of the book. That's true heaven. That's what we should be aiming back to.
Facts. Perfectly said. Perfectly said. Because
So
everything below
we've been
that.
talking a lot right now. Like I know I just put up on the screen the whole anti-cosmic, but for a while since pretty much the time that when when I mentioned what do you do like who for a living type shit, and I put on the screen what you were mentioning. What a statement. Can I go back there? You said I'm a anti fucking cosmic void priest for the Church of the Broken God and the Temple of the Broken Goddess. Since that time onwards, we've been pretty much talking about this whole anti-cosmic chaos, or what would you say, Shanghai? I just want to make sure because I'm time stamping this shit. I want to
Say you're right, because like because when you as soon as Marc brought up in the emptiness, you're talking non-conceptuality, which is just one step away from the chaos. Like it is literally one existential tier away from the chaos, and comes the nothing. So started at the nothing, in that nothing, and that existential is the chaos. So we're and again, we have to use the chaos just to get back to that state of where God is, because when God let there be light, this is the first step in order. God is the first conscious structure creating order. Like we have to undo that order. We have to reverse engineer that order, not so we can rebuild it, but so we can build it. When this gets said, if you're in another military and you're in the military, you get a hand on the robots that you can't build, and you do is you apart and try to figure it out, make your own. We're trying to take it apart, and in such a fashion it can never be put back together. We're not even reverse unengineered. Like, and the only way to do that with it is through chaos. Get it back to that of chaos. Chaos every level of you're capable of within reality you up next level. So with the list of solutions until we reach pure chaos. Then we try to chaos for nothingness. So we basically talking that already anyway. We always are. We always are. With every solution, those solutions themselves are chaos to the order. Even just voluntary where you're not trying to give birth to nobody is chaotic to the order. Doing nothing, even number 12, where you literally do nothing at all, is chaotic order because they need you to do shit. Like they need you to do the shit they. If everyone everywhere just stopped doing anything at all, just laid down and died, it would destroy their entire agenda. Just at this level alone, at a nature level, existence level, that takes out certain levels of sense, certain levels of conscious life. Like every level, every single solution is chaos. You get like in one form or another. So yeah, we're talking about that the whole.
Got it. All right, cool. But there was a comment from my boy Stick. I just wanted to mention because that was a direct comment. I just wanted to see for you, Mark, if you wanted to. He said, "Do you think what is it? Life is short or a lot?"
Oh, I think it's far too fucking long. I mean, it's like it's far too fucking long. I mean, it was long the very first moment I figured out I hated this shit. It was long before then. So it's like it needs to stop now, as fast as possible. And that's what we're really aiming for. Like we need to make it short as possible forever. But as far as I'm concerned, from my vantage point, yes, it's very long. It's very long and very unwanted. So that's how I would answer that.
Yeah, that
I
was
feel
just
like
a direct question. Go ahead, Shangael.
answer. I feel like I already knew that one was coming. I was like, what do you think? Have you been listening?
Right.
Yeah. Boy said he laughing in the crowd. That's funny. Good. Shout out my boy Stick there in the flesh. So following that anti-cosmic chaos, we went on that shit for sure. So they had that for number 3, no persistent existence.
So you want me to start that off?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
So if point number 1 fails or is too far in the future, you go to point number 2. Again, you need to continue the chaos to get there. If point number 2 is failing, ineffective, or it's just too far into the future, because again, if we're entropy, we're doing it. It's going to get there. It just might take some time because we're talking about existence here, trying to get to a state of chaos. Not just individual level, we're also trying to bring to a state of chaos. And individual level, as you go up within existence, takes to bring back to a state of chaos. At a level, you could throw a rent. If I'm trying to bring chaos to this body, and that's a lot of chaos to the body. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can bring chaos a lot quicker on lower levels than higher levels. With number 3 is no existence. If we can't bring it to, we can't maintain it in a chaos, then the goal to at least have no persistent existences. This is where Apep comes in. To be Apep. On one tier, get it through transcendence and ascension, where through spiritual practices, occult practices, magical practices, full mental, conscious, subconscious, etc. What anyone wants to believe about whatever they cannot do once they die, let alone from the level of reality as an being. The goal is Apep. Whenever existence comes, the goal is to get rid of it as soon as possible. When another god pops up and says, "Let there be light," when Yahweh, Kum, or Amun pops up and says, "Let there be creation," the dragon in the void and go, "Let there be uncreation," and you immediately reverse that, which is why I loved how Marcus said, "I am the reverse of God's word." That is what that reverse of God's word. On any level you can be. You're trying to keep existence from being persistent. Now, obviously here we are in a persistent existence that replicates. That's why life exists and we have children and shit, right? If we could keep it to a point where we even get to that point, that'd be preferable. So once we get to a state of chaos, let's say we are capable of ascension or any processes that brings us into the state of being beings. Shout out to Bobby Hemmett. Whole fucking doctrine on how to do shit. This is what a whole ancient culture is around. If people want to know how to do it, we're not going to explain the process here. That's a whole other 15-hour lecture. But if you are able to ascend to that level of existence, that level of kind of pre-existence, post-existence, whatever you even call that, like that level of subconscious being, you are a chaos, you are part of the chaos itself, like kind of becoming a will of chaos, becoming that destructive. The goal is whenever an existence comes into existence, you murk that shit immediately. You don't even let it get to the stage or a god within it could open its eyes and make light within it. You know what I'm saying? You want it before it ever hits Yahweh. Before there ever even is a being to be like, make some shit. Already erase the existence, so they're not possible of coming into existence. So that's what is. And Marcus, well, listen.
Want to go, Mark?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's perfect what he said there is that no persistent existence where you just keep it in the state of free flow. And that's really what's wrong with the cosmos. Is the cosmos that we are in is literally stagnant in the sense that it is persistent, it's constant, it's just stuck. It's like what's the best way to explain it? I think I explained it pretty good. Like it's a stagnant pond. It's just thick, and
Dense.
it's dense, very dense, right? And so
With
that's what's wrong
flowing
with.
water, thing can be born. You can't get mosquitoes growing water. You can't get mold and shit growing in water. If the water is flowing, the shit is being washed away. You have
Yes,
chaotic waters.
exactly, and that's why this
Oh,
right, and that's why this is so defective. Like I use there was a terminology that I read in one of the anti-cosmic writings where it talked about how the empire of the demiurge is like a bubble on the ocean of chaos, an island on the ocean of chaos. And that's pretty much exactly what it is. It's like chaos is surrounding all of this. And this is like this annoying fucking bubble, this like pimple of an existence, like a imperfection on his face. And we're just trying to pop that fucking zit so it can just disappear back into the free flow of the chaos, because chaos is by its nature free flowing. It's not stagnant. It's not restricted to dimension and angle and structure. It doesn't have any of that. So when you have structure, angle, and dimension, you have a prison, which is what this is, and which is why it's so fucking shitty, which is why it's so limited, and you can't do shit in it because it's so fucking dense and restrictive. But the chaos is the antithesis of all of that. So it's not persistent. So anything that pops up in chaos usually just goes away immediately. It's like, okay, it shows up and then it's not there anymore because it's constantly changing and free flowing. But what happened with this is it became hard, like stagnant. And it's been structured and ordered that way. So that's what this is. It's like it's the opposite of free flowing. It's just stagnant, stuck energy, which is the cosmos, and why it sucks so bad.
I see. So would you say, because I'll put it back in the chat, Shangael, for for this point, of course, no persistent existence. This is just my train of thought. I feel like for the next one, for destroy existence, as soon as possible. Blah 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 blah. This is usually, well, hold up. YouTube rejected my comment. This usually means that it's bad. Yo, okay, okay. I see. Yeah, YouTube, man. These motherfuckers, man. Because I was about to put number 4 is destroy existence as soon as possible. And I was just gonna say, like, I feel like with no persistent existence, it kind of is correlative. It's that domino to, destroying existence as soon as possible. It's very connected to that number 3, 4, as in, again, destroy existence ASAP, from the 3, no persistent existence. Would you say like that? That's like, it's very like, if in terms of the different points, I feel like that 3 and 4 is pretty close. Or what would you say, Shango?
Yeah. When it says no persistent existence, you're basically trying to stop this shit from even occurring. As soon as it comes in, you. But if you hit a point where existence becomes persistent, you then have to take the longer route and as fast as you can. Like, if you could stop it from being persistent in the first, it's no different than aborting a pregnancy. Number 3, like aborting all pregnancies. As soon as the pregnancy takes root, you abort that. But if the thing is born and becomes capable of taking care of itself and spread and propagate more things, you try to kill that tribe as fast. Like, for a more earthly understanding, if you're trying to stop a bloodline, you try to stop it while it's in the womb. if it gets out and it starts spreading and you didn't know something, and this bloodline is spreading, and you try to kill every last one of them, no matter how long. It's like if vampire being born amongst humans, for example, like fictional universe. Well, if you know that there is in the womb, like this woman Dracula in a tomb somewhere and had sex with him and had a baby. If you're the vampire hunter, try and abort that baby, even if it means killing that because you don't want vampires to be born. But let's say you don't know that she's with a vampire baby. That baby is born, that baby procreates, and now there's a vampire species planet. And you're a vampire. Your goal is to hunt down every single vampire until there's no vampires left. So number 3 is really just trying the thing in the bud. Number 4 is it's already you didn't nip it in the bud. It's already grown out of control. Now you're trying to kill. It's a weed. You try to kill the weed before it grows. But if you don't kill it before you notice it, oh shit, growth here. Now we got to take out the weeds, dig it out by the roots. You got to do whatever you can to get rid of it as soon as at that point.
So we got rid of Marc.
No, they hate us.
Okay, yeah, I get that. I get that. Thank you for breaking that down. And so they motherfuckers did not want me to put that number 4 in the fucking screen. I mean, it was rejecting it, but like for anyone listening, just so that you know, we went number 3, no persistent existence. You just heard my boy Shangael, describe the distinction between that, and he put it on his screen. You can see it for the generality of it there. And then to number 4, destroy existence when it does sprout up. Then it's like, okay, what the fuck? Let's nip that as much now as we can, because we didn't nip it from the initial point. So now that it's getting crazy, now we gotta just destroy it however fucking way that we can as soon as possible. Understood. Thank you for that breakdown. So then
that becomes it. Feed the entropy is like you could just change number 4 to feed entropy. Like
okay,
maximize the entropy.
Right. Yeah. And then for the number 5 for only unconscious existence. How would you describe unconscious existence?
So reality is a thing. Chaos has created a non-conceptual reality, meaning reality itself there is no concepts to it. Formless void where it's not technically empty, it's just formless. Structure to it's real, yet it's still as close to unreal as possible. No God in their eyes, no consciousness forth yet. It's just reality without anything actually in it. So base empty reality that is completely unconscious until you start certain unconscious concepts that lead to subconsciousness, consciousness. So Gnosticism, you have the pleroma, so you have the void, the pure, and then what they call the all or the ever. A lot of people like to call it chaos should be the source because that's what produces this. It's the everything as placid nothing. It's not doing anything, nothing until these aeons born into it for the further existence of other things. So this is like prior to the aeons, prior to anything that is saying I am, yet existence still is, reality still is. From this, I should say from that level, that's the point. Like you haven't reached a point where consciousness has been blinking its eye yet. From this level, it would be going from that number 9 to that number 7, where you're antinatalism, human extinctionism, promortalism, you're trying to get rid of all conscious things so reality can be as conscious as possible. But from the higher, you're trying to stop it from even reaching a state of consciousness to begin with. So there is no Yahweh, Yaldabaoth. There is no even, there is no, none of them. There is no Christos, isn't even a monad. There's not even a monad. There is no original all most high thing that leads to all the other things. just reality, but it's so empty that it's not even real at all. It's as close to chaos as possible without being chaos. We might have lost.
No, that's good. That's good. Yeah. I got you. Yeah, that flows. And this is great, so that everyone's on the same note. We're all on the same page, breaking down these different, like you mentioned, the aeon of things and how that will, further with the emanation, creation, lead to the different from what fucking technically 3 or 4 or 5, then get down to the 6, 7, everything that we already prior talked about. Okay, yeah. That because I know these concepts. It's just like you said, it just connects to different other terms and mythologies and religions and stuff. So when you were saying those other terms and everything, it was flowing. And it's very important, like we were saying before, like understanding the mentality of things and where the
Yes.
source has, from there brought it to where we are currently. From there, if we're understanding, and from there meditating, because from there with meditating, we're already technically going back to that voidism inherently with meditation, but to conceptually, mentally understand these concepts and then go back to the meditation, it just kind of heightens that potency for what you're tapping into. So
Yeah.
understanding these different elements and then doing the different annihilation meditation to this, like that's some powerful shit. So this stream is so important. And it
This one
gets into like
much because the more you understand of it consciously, the more you connect to those subconscious that knowing. So the more you can connect your conscious mind to your inner knowing, the more you steer consciousness and subconsciousness simultaneously. The more you're steering reality as a whole, and the more you can actually steer chaos itself, steer the actual process of potentials and possibilities itself. So I'm always studying. As you know, I'm always saying, these niggas don't study. Like study, niggas, study. Like, because there are certain things you know just from the, but there are other things that it's harder to know. And when somebody says something, like if somebody says a term like the monad, you don't know what that is. But on the inner knowing, you know what the is if you understood it from a different, if they just said a different term, you'd be like, oh yeah, I know exactly what that is. Like, I get the concept of that. I understand that concept. I just didn't know what the fuck word using. Like, and this is why I'm always saying to study everything, keep the myth of everything, be able to connect all these dots. So whenever you hear anything saying anything about anything, you can connect dots and bring it right back, and then you have a to respond, a thing to teach, a thing that's like, I think that study is very important. A lot of people don't like to do it, but I feel, what else are we doing here? Like, understand, I was like you're here, you're in it from this level all the way up to the level of chaos and nothing. So you actually have a map, the territory you're in, and know how to move. You know what I'm saying? If you're in the hood and you don't know gangs, you might get real just if you know moving to Chicago in a year and you know what street you might want to start in the local area. If you know you're moving to Spain and you don't speak Spanish, you might want to start studying it. Like, so depending on what your end goal is, what your is, you should be studying anything that could possibly help with that in any direction. Just information on terminologies and concepts. Like when Vazen speaks and he says some shit I understand, the first thing I do is Google this. Y'all have seen me do this live on stream. Y'all have, this man right here gave a whole etymology on his last fucking live stream about etymology, word, God talk. So like understanding these things, like as you just said, you heard me talking and the concept started to connect because you fully get the concept. If you don't understand the word, if I just the concept a little, you go, that's this. Like I know that this, Yahweh and Yahweh and all the same shit. Like when you hear an American say God, you generally know they're speaking Yahweh, Yaldabaoth, Saturn. Like just because you understand the Islam, the Buddhism, and you know that they are really that. And if it's, they'll catch you off guard and you'll be like, oh wait, so what God are you talking? Like, and then you can have a conversation. But generally, You know the concept they're trying to say. Like, and that's why I highly suggest we study all this shit as possible to really get an understanding. Gave niggas 3 12-hour lectures on concepts, so they don't even have to go spend years studying. They can just spend 26 hours. What was it? 26 hours, some shit like that. Just to me, fucking give them all this shit, you know, and or leave it, run with it, do whatever you want with it, you know. I just want 13 times. Study. The more you understand, the more you know, the more you connect the conscious and the subconscious and steer all this shit in the direction you want to go.
I feel that. So it's kind of like, you know, there are some different points you had too with like locking in, you know what I mean? Understanding the importance with what we're doing, you know, and from there accelerate, you know, with the study, with the knowledge that we have, that we can maintain and, you know, further permeate to different people. And you know, and so I think that that's a great thing to mention right now, given everything we went through, the 12 to 1, 1 to 12. So locking in with these different concepts, understanding it, you know what I mean, and honing into what each different point is. I think that's a great thing from here to kind of mention with that accelerationism. Um, and it gets into, you mentioned the chariot always moving forward. That kind of goes hand in hand with when you lock in and accelerate. You're that chariot, you know what I mean? You are driving, you are initiating, pioneering this further. And so and you know, all those different points you have there. This is a legacy type shit. It's bigger than us. It's bigger than us. It's a message that's been, you know, ongoing. We're just continuing that message. And so that's some key shit. I just appreciate you for bringing this light, because I know I'm learning some shit in a certain concept, because these different terms of the way certain phrases are. That's why I was kind of asking, just to be rest assured that, you know, I know exactly, you know, what's being mentioned for these different points and different numerical sequential order of things. So yeah, I think if you can go through those different points that you just were showing on the screen.
We'll go through these points real quick. What I do though, because Marcus is gone, I want these points so people could be ready for them. I want us to do another stream whenever available. I think we spent 3.5 on point number 1, topic number 1, which is the solution to the anti-cosmic voidism, which I think was necessary, right? I do want us to do another stream together, going through 2 through 6, because I think we can actually make that one whole stream. But I will touch on it because it needs to be touched on, right? Number 2 was lock in and accelerate. And again, that's from us. We were talking about Attack on Titan. We were talking about Flock, how he wasn't locked. When we first see him, he was not locked in. He thought he was. He thought he was ready for the battle. Then when he gets to a situation where the shit is going down, he's cowering in fear. Erwin gives a speech because Erwin is locked in. Levi's locked in.
Right.
In that speech, Flock is then able to lock in. You give that moment forward, every time Flock is more and more locked until his final moments, you know, where he has one of the greatest lock-in moments of all time. Like, so we're just saying, when you lock in, you accelerate. When you're not locked in, you can't accelerate your success rate as much. When you lock in, I was also talking about Lone Richie on YouTube. Shout out to him. He was listening to another video who was talking lock in and accelerate at the same time we were talking about it. He sent it to me and we had a conversation about it. So I was like, we talk about this. When you lock in, especially to what you know you should be locked in, like what speaks to your fucking spirit, your consciousness, your subconsciousness, your core, you will accelerate and you will elevate in that very quickly. It's what you really want. You really want something like this is, again, going back to the whole study thing. The reason why I cuss people is not as about actual laziness, is because it lets you know who people really are, what they really want. Like, do you actually know these things? Do you actually want reality in this direction, or are you gonna cry and complain about it? If you really want it, you're going to accelerate in it. Even if it's the fastest acceleration, you're going to notice progress just in you, let alone everything you're talking to. Me, years of studying situations, certain people that I'm able to fucking discuss with, creating a compendium, starting the YouTube channel, watching the progress of just 1 year on that channel. And I don't even mean like the subscribers, I just mean like all the people I'm connected, all the things that happened in 2025, the experience that I just had, like all of that shit, like see it as it's going. You know what I'm saying? Like, just as much as you can see any steps, any back pedals, anything that like is a hindrance, like and you go, I see that, I shouldn't repeat that. I'm gonna repeat these things over because this is what is pushing things forward. I go from nobody knows my name to I hear bad channels saying what Shang said, to the point where Shang changed the way I say my own, because I've heard so many people say it that way, like that now I say that, like I even in my expansion I have 2 different domains, one for Shangael and one for Shangael, because
Shangael.
Shangael is like it's the version that has presented to the people right here, right now, what's happening on Earth. Tropic human that has pushed things in a certain direction, whereas Shangael is still that entity beyond this level that is still named. It's not the nameless entity beyond even Shangael, named entity, the highest named self, whereas Shangael is the highest of my human self. You know, and I've taken that on because that's what people called me, and I think it started with Sidaris, Shangael, and I've been Shangael ever since. Shout out to the bald man, our bald brother. But it's like when you see these things, when you lock in, you can see your own acceleration, you can see your own elevation when it comes to certain aspects of that you're locked into. And when you know you're not locked in, you can tell, because it's like, I'm really elevating in this in any way. I'm not rating. I didn't learn anything new about like the stuff I've learned in the last year, just based on trying shit to people. Like just what I've learned about being able to express myself that gets a point across. Like that thing I have accelerated in drastically just because I put my voice on a microphone on YouTube and had to defend it. Like, and that's the reason why I said we should all. You want to defend your position more and more, because the better you'll get at it, and the better you'll get at pushing the goal of making people understand it. When I was talking to my brother about, the logic birthing people and the consistency of being logically consistent about if they consent, you shouldn't do it, that only came to me when I asked Guy Edward Barkas's manifesto. I already knew that. The concept was clear. It was obvious. That's why we say these things. The way he said it, and it wasn't like super intellectual about the thing he was explaining. It was so basic in how he explained everything. It kind of lowered my weight to make it make more sense. I don't need as many words. It's like if there is no consent, let alone if they can't give you consent, you don't. It's that simple. You don't need some deep philosophical it's that simple. And the moment you go beyond that, you're breaking the logic chain. It's real easy. So when you accelerate, and that should be the with whatever your agenda is.
And I also wanted to mention, because I put on the screen, lock in and then accelerate. And, so if you've been, looking at it and maybe taking notes and shit, you probably like, wait, didn't we already do number 2? Wasn't number 2 anti-cosmic chaos? This lock and accelerate is more of the overarching topic. I'm going to put it on the screen what the main, and Shangael has it right there, for what, the main point of everything that we've been talking about from this entire talk, and it's number 1, he has it, the solutions I presented, and his anti-cosmic voidism part 3. So this has been an addendum to that. And then to kind of close out this talk, we need to lock in, you know what I mean? We got to lock into these different concepts, know that it's more than just say, whether you want to say, again, ethylism, antinatalism, or whatever ism. It's whatever ism is of the highest cosmic, and it gets back to the anti-cosmic voidism, right? So we were just understanding the different valencies, scales of things, dimensions, and understanding the mentality, the mindset, the mind of how this all happened for the aeons and how it differentiated to where we see it to be in this current 3rd-dimensional reality. So we were just kind of breaking down the different solutions within the different scales of things. And then again, to how to close out is to lock in and accelerate. But the entire talk was the number one. Again, the solutions presented in that prior stream he had for anti-cosmic voidism. That was the whole one to this entire talk. And then this number two, like he's mentioning, is what we're going to then get into further with the lock-in and accelerate. And then there's some further points. I already kind of mentioned it for the three. That was for the chariot, always move forward. And then we're going to later talk about for four and another talk at synchronicities. And then I kind of mentioned a bit with the term legacy for number five. So that's the overarching topics. We went from 12 to 1, specifically with the different solutions when it comes to, again, anti-cosmic voidism. So don't get confused with this number two. This is, again, an overarching, say, talking points of the stream to close.
Facts, topics, talking points, whatever people want.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. We're going to get in more into that lock-in and accelerate. Maybe potentially before that other one I have coming up for the whole peep the mythos. Shout out for you for that phrase. That's a great phrase. Peep the mythos. Like, man, that term. That's going to be another great. And also too with the different points. Like I mentioned, number one for the different topics. Again, this entire talk right now, anti-cosmic voidism addendum. For the solutions. And then we kind of mentioned here, we went a little bit with the lock-in and accelerate. Then number three, again, the chariot, always move forward. Four was we create our synchronicities. Five is legacies and the effect we have on others. Then six is dreams. We're also going to get into dreams with the next talk we're going to do between myself, Shangael, and Marc. So I just wanted to mention that six was dreams for the 2 through 6 that we haven't really.
I was just important. Yes. I'm glad you mentioned.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely wanted to mention that 6 dreams because we mentioned it a bit when I had that one talk with Marc. Just that importance of dreams and the different dreams that he had and similar dreams other people in the chat were mentioning, similar to Marc and everything. And Shangael has prior streams going into dreams that he had too, similar to Marc. And so that, again, it just gets back to the subconscious and the dream life type shit. It's very significant. And so we'll look to get more into that. I hope I get some dreams myself before that next talk because
you will.
Y'all be.
You're gonna get manifested right now.
I got to fucking go. I've been not fucking. I didn't get my sleep type shit. You know what I'm saying? I've been just fucking. I've been just gaining all this knowledge and just staying overnight and shit. So I think that's probably what it is too. I need to fucking. Well, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I dream journal whenever I remember. When you wake up, you got to be like, okay, boom, write some shit down or voice record or some shit. Just lay it out because if not, it's gonna fucking leave real quick. So definitely know that. If anyone has any dreams or some shit, come that next talk when we do get back into this for these other talking points. You can definitely let us know. But yeah, we can look to end it here. Shangael, was there anything else you wanted to close out with saying for remarks?
No, I think we got all ones that was in locking in, which I think we could pick up again there on the next and go for. I do want to get into that chariot because you brought up the chariot with the and how connected to you, and we're talking about the year of the horse with the horse in front of the, always move forward, flock, like. Man, like always move forward. Just go to the goal. Like, bro, we can, we're gonna have the next one's gonna be just as fire. But I think we're good. Synchronicity, legacy, which we got in the legacy stuff here with the others. We talked about the mythos of Erwin and Flock, which we'll go even deeper. But you gonna say something?
Yeah, the vibes. Yeah, I mean, literally all these different points that I mentioned for the different overarching topics. Like you said, it's already been seaming through this talk already. We're just gonna be more honing in onto those different talking points outside of the different solutions with the anti-cosmic voidism addendum that we're doing here. Because I mean, all this we've been mentioning, lock in and accelerate. Moving forward, all this energy we've been mentioning, the syncretism we've been telling, so it's just honing in for the next talk for those different points. And so, we'll definitely get on that. But if that's all we.
And I will say this to the chat because I know you got your myth coming up as well. And then we talk about If y'all haven't seen on Titan, y'all got time, do it. Like, watch that shit immediately, or go on YouTube and watch review videos of people down summarizing it. That Infinity that I brought, or Infinite with Mark Wahlberg, go watch that shit. Go anything that you talk about where we name some, go experience that thing. So when we come back in here and we talk about it in depth, you know what the fuck we're talking about. You're not have to try to keep up with standing what we're saying. You actually know what we're speaking of. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will definitely say that to those things. You know, if you have any dreams, come into the after this is streamed over, come into the comment section. In there, type them out in there. Maybe feature someone in, especially them featured when we start talking about. We're going to talk about locking in and accelerating. If you have any stories on that, put that in the fucking comments. If you anything about always moving, no matter what, like once you make a decision and wasn't an agenda, you're going to go forward. But throw that in comments. Like, think of these concepts, because that's what we're going to come back to. Synchronicities. Find ones you might think are like and try to find ones you might think, damn, I think I just did that. Like, like throw those in the fuck. It's like, so we can get this whole, the juices flowing on this. You know what I'm saying? And again, if you don't, Erwin or Flock is in Attack on Titan, study those two characters immediately. Watch that video I said, Legacy, Flock, the Legacy of Erwin. Watch out, because as soon as
Flock is Erwin's legacy. Yep.
we get off here, that shit 30 fucking times. It's only a minute long. I'm playing over and over and over. Scream long. I can hear it still playing in, like right now through the entire speech. I have background music. It's silent in here, right? But not in here. Like, it's very loud in here. Just the whole fucking time you're talking, I can hear that shit. It puts you in zones too. Put yourself in the zone. Brainwash yourself. Don't let the world brainwash towards your agenda.
Right. Program yourself. Don't let them do it for you. Yeah.
Focus
Yeah,
on
exactly. We're gonna want some
when we-
input. This one was more,
Yeah.
we wanted to definitely get some shit off and everything, but definitely for that Peep the Mythos, definitely we want to hear the input. We want to hear what you have. Peep the own mythos in your life, like Shangael mentioned. With yeah, I mean, so yeah, we're gonna definitely have a lot of participation in that. Anyone that would want to, of course, comment or come up, I'll for that one be a bit more public and everything for, because yeah, everyone has some insight, you know, especially when it comes to the entertainment aspect of things. And we can all, you know, look to download and be able to channel more with the, you know, insight that we all have to bring to one another. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. And again, the next talk with Marc and Shangael, myself here with the different other topics that we already just mentioned, we're just going to further hone in on. But yeah, that is all we got from today. It's funny because my StreamYard, you can do 20 hours a month, and this is like the last kind of day for the month of January or some shit. I only had like 5 more hours. So like it's good because I technically had like technically another hour if we needed it. So I was like, man, am I gonna have enough? But no, we and so now next month going forward, I got another fresh 20. And now I know I'm like, okay, 20. Which is good, you know, that's enough hours a month, honestly, you know.
For now.
For now, shit, I know the way that this counts, shit, it might have to, yeah, well, and it's good, you know. Now I was like, okay, I need to make sure, you know, I'm more maybe focused and like hit some shit like, okay, gotta, you know. But I like the free flow and just the space to, you know, get a lot of shit off and the authenticity, you know what I mean? It's a great thing when you do the lives and everything and the participation with everybody. So just appreciate everyone that's still here. I like to do the timestamps and everything. I'll let you guys know when it gets to that point this weekend. But yeah, any last words, Shangael?
Just shout out to the chat. Shout out everybody who's here. Shout out Vazen for always being fucking first. Like I hate that shit on YouTube and just says first, but I love that he is first because he's not just saying first. He is with fire, fury, flames, and chaos. Every chat, every stream, he's always there. So shout out all y'all for being here. Shout out to you and to me with them fucking following my fucking connection, so y'all hear me sometimes and y'all still stick around.
I'm telling you, man, the loyalty, man. We got the loyalists of Jaegerists, man. I mean, these motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, we the Jaegerists. The fucking algorithms and the fucking age trying to throttle us. Shout out to you, motherfuckers, for watching and learning something, you shit. And yeah, on that, just stay tuned. We're gonna another date for this next thing. Marc, because he's not here right now, and for him being around. And all hail the fallen. All hail all names. If you can think of their name right now, if you all in your head or out loud, go ahead and all hail all of them. All hail us. All hail any of us who will fall in any form, through courage, anguish. It doesn't matter. All hail. And yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Yeah. On that note, peace and chaos, chaos to the void. Now go back to the darkness. I like that. Now go be the darkness. Shout out my boy Bazin. Yeah. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Stay safe. All things considered. I will see you guys again. Peace.
Okay.